Hi there, everyone! This is the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. This campaign, we're covering the granddaddy of all tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons & Dragons. Specifically, their second introduction box called the Essentials Kit. In it is the adventure called Dragon of Icespire Peak. Sorry that we got started a little bit late today. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're here. We're ready to roll. We're doing it. Let's hit you guys with some fun, hot dice rolling action. Anyways, so my name is Spencer Reese. I'm your game master for the evening, and I'm joined by my player, Dalton.
Hi everybody, my name is Dalton. I'm going to be playing a halfling wizard named Ufo. He's the pyrotechnics expert of the group, and he's excited for some second level spells today. Very excited for that.
Yeah, we're going to be covering our level up at the end of the session because technically everybody leveled up last week, or will be leveling up when they turn the quest today, but they're not going to get it till they take a long rest, so we'll cover that.
We're not supposed to be level.
I mean, you can put that on for right now. I'll tell you if there's any good. It's okay.
You know, it's okay to be prepared.
Yeah. All right.
I heard level up and I was like,
yeah. Dan, who are you playing?
yeah.
What's up, everyone? I'm Dan. I'm playing Bjorn Mountainside, dwarf fighter, now dwarf Eldritch Knight. Bjorn's going to be casting some magic-y up in here as well.
Awesome.
Comes from a noble background, but really enjoys tater tots. So, cheers.
Oh, tater tots, wings,
The
and
royal
drunkenly.
family told him no tater tots, and he was like, I abdicate.
The main reason he left was for his love of tater tots. They said that was the not the main reason. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. He was eating some tater tots at dinner, and the royal family came up and said, "No tater tots. Those are the peasant food."
Oh,
He
that's
said,
why.
Well, he said, "Well, tater tots are peasant food. Then I guess I'm a peasant." And then he just took the plate and walked out.
That's fair.
24 hours later, he ran into Doc Rivers. No tater tots, but a dream.
So
But
quick.
he's wrestling, so
Yeah. Well, what's one of the main foods that they serve while watching a wrestling show? It's tater tots, ain't it?
Tater tots. Yes,
It's tater
the
tots.
official snack of the Fandolin and
Wrestling.
Wrestling Co. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Wrestling
Toblin's
Co.
absolutely making some tater tots next time you guys perform. All right. Next up, we have Justin.
How are you? I'm playing Doc Rivers, a part-time pro amateur wrestler, and our party's full-time medic, doctor.
Yeah,
Physician.
I've been starting to view Doc Rivers as kind of like the dad of the group. Like, he kind of makes sure everybody's in line and okay. Do you
know.
disagree?
I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe a little bit. Don't light the town on fire, you guys. Seriously. I'm watching. No, we can't keep the blink dog. Later.
But he's so cute.
He's so cute. They are lawful good creatures.
Yeah,
Are they?
Blink dogs are fine. It's the cats. What is the name of the?
Oh, Displacer Beasts.
It's the displacer beasts that are bad.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Okay. All right. Next up, Ashley.
Hi, my name's Ashley. I am playing Nivara Adar. I am a moon elf bard, and I am twins with our last player to be introduced tonight, Christian. Again, like I said last time, this is just in the game, not in real life.
You two look so alike.
Very similar.
I think I made that same lame joke last time.
Probably, but I also made the same joke because I also used the confusing language again. But yeah, Nivara, she's a bit obnoxious. She also specializes in some of your less traditional acts or performances. She really likes to do tumbling, tightrope walking, trapeze, that kind of thing. So she is more of a gymnast than she is a musician.
Yeah, perfect, but still a bard through and through. Oh, I see a little pupper behind you.
Yes, this is Winnie. She is my dog. She can be the bar or the party's druid that's always in wild shape.
That's adorable. I like how the druid specifically chose a greyhound.
Yep.
All right, and last but not least, we have Christian.
Hello, I am playing Novo Adar again, the better half of the two twins, and I make that joke every single time. Don't you worry. Yeah, and Novo is, a practiced musician who believes he can, save the world and win over the hearts of all the beautiful females and the towns that he visits with his music. But he does admit that his side act, kind of along with his music, his sister does help with the whole performance. And we're very excited to give a performance this evening. So stay tuned for that.
Woo! All right, last session on the ABCs of RPGs Dungeons and Dragons Essential Kit. The party finished up their quest in Nomagard. They talked to the two kings. They talked about, I think, the magical items and stuff like that. But they were mostly debating with the kings, not debating, asking strongly if they can take the barrel crabs with them. Which it was decided that the gnomes wanted to keep the barrel crabs so they can still do their wine work, but they took the blueprints that Novo actually designed up himself and will get to work on attaching crossbows to the front of those crabs. So if the party fights that white dragon, they'll come in and rescue them. To
Who's
which
doing that work?
they are supposed to contact the gnomes by using birds.
Who's doing the work? Who's doing the one
Yeah,
fixing?
that's as much specificity as we got too. By the way, they were just like, "Oh, you just talk to the birds," and we're like, "What? I can't talk to birds." And they're like, "Huh, that's weird." Anyway, bye.
If I'm gonna be honest,
Bye.
I set that up on the fly, and then I remembered that gnomes can talk to small beasts, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, they would totally do that."
Yeah.
Dalton, you asked who's doing the work on the crabs?
Yeah, it's probably Factor, right?
Oh,
Probably.
of course, yeah. There's no reason
Absolutely.
it wouldn't be Factor. He was the crossbow guy that you guys ran into while you were there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if
He
we
was
got a
the
crossbow guy, hopefully it's the crossbow guy doing the work.
Specialize in attaching crossbows to random objects.
We're building towers of crossbows.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
cool. He's a smart individual that in no way was hurt by the party or insulted, so it's gonna be great. So after you, then the gnomes quickly bowed you out of their kingdom, and said, "Be on your way." A lot of the session last week we covered leveling up because you guys went from level 1 to level 2. Originally it's supposed to be because this whole campaign, this whole essentials kit is a milestone level up system, which essentially what that means is when characters get to certain points in the story, they level up. This story trigger is every time they complete quests at a certain level. Like the first 3 starter quests that they get, every time they do one, they get a level up and stuff like that. And then they'll get accesses to other quests and stuff like that. But essentially, that's how that works. In other D&D rules, there are experience points that you get for killing certain enemies and stuff. But in the Essentials kit, this is the main basis for how you guys level up. Which you're about to finish another quest here soon. The party made their way to Umbridge Hill, which was on the way back from Nomengard to Phandalin, just to kind of swing by and do the other quest real quick. Meanwhile, Ufo got a new skill as an evocation wizard and decided to test it on Bjorn.
Successfully
and
tested.
he casted burning hands towards him, but did not hurt Bjorn. Scared him a bit, but did not hurt him, much to the surprise of the rest of the party.
Ufo was
then you
honestly
get-
a little surprised too.
He's used to setting things on fire. It's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, that
It's
was the
not
first time he tried to do that. It was still just like a twinkle in his eye of an idea.
He didn't even. That was his test. He didn't test it before that.
Mm-hmm.
So then you guys got to Umbridge Hill, to which you found Adabra, the person you're supposed to be taking back to Phandalin to save from the White Dragon, being accosted by a manticore. When you guys approached and spoke to it, it actually said that he wanted food. He wanted food from you guys, or he was going to take it from you.
He wanted meat specifically.
Meat, yes. So Naivara and Bjorn decided to go off hunting in the woods, while the rest of the three decided to go inside and talk to Adabra. Novo expressed concern, thinking something was afoot with Adabra. But while Dr. Rivers was casting Detect Magic, the rest of the Naivara and Bjorn came back with plenty of deer to satiate. Satiate. Did I use that word right? I think I did.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Satiate.
think so.
Thank you.
Big word.
Satiate.
I like it.
Thanks. Satiate the manticore, and he flew off. Now this is where we're kind of picking up from last week. But before we hop into the session, what I always like to do, and I like to do this as a DM, as a way to kind of encourage everybody's kind of participation with their characters, or kind of think about like other ways to kind of flesh out the characters. I like to look up online the cheesiest get to know you questions available. So I found a big old 250 question list that I'm going to roll right now. Watch me. Boop. Which we got
No, Spencer.
164. What?
I'm not gonna watch you.
Oh,
You
fine.
can't make me.
Okay. But it's so cool, Justin. Check me out.
Okay.
So I rolled 164. So question 164, which I'm going to ask each of the party members, what are you most proud of in the last year? Let's kind of do a staggered response. Justin, do you know what Doc Rivers would say to that question? What are you most proud of in the last year?
Oh, Doc Rivers is furthering his professional wrestling career.
Huh?
And that's he that happened just this year, and he's doing his normal kind of medic stuff, but now that he's got a steady gig at a tavern doing the lucha libre
Yeah.
deal.
Nice. Perfect. And speaking of wrestling, Dan, do you know what Bjorn would say to that question? Like, what are you most proud of in the last year?
Yeah, I think for Bjorn leaving home, having the courage to finally do it. Like,
Yeah.
he was proud of that, and finally starting his adventure.
It's hard to step away from like your family, especially because there's a lot of security there and everything like that. But Bjorn,
Yeah. Well, especially for Bjorn, he's a noble, so there's a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of it's not like he's just walking away from nothing.
Yeah.
Or he's walking away from and no one's affected, right? Like, people have to, there's a shift in the court politics, if you will, with him leaving. So
yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Dalton, what would Ufo say he's most proud of in the last year?
Ufo's looking to the future. He doesn't want to dwell on the past.
Right, of course. Oh. All right. Christian, what is Novo most proud of in the last year?
Novo is most proud of venturing out into the world and
Beyond the
challenging
circus.
themselves. Challenging himself, yes, beyond the circus, to become better, become wiser, and more experienced, and in hopes that his songs could be developed and further and more beautifully and magically through that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Ashley, what is Naivara most proud of in the last year?
I gotta say, everybody's got all of these like super nice answers that are really meaningful. Naivara's just happy that she's got her first sponsorship, baby.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Barthen's Provisions!
Barthen's Provisions, go shop there.
Oh, maybe there's like a rival town in Phandalin, like a provision shop that's like right across the street called, I don't know, Dark's Dudes, like instead of goods, Dark's Dudes. And like Barthen's been rubbing it in their face that he's sponsored you guys and is so excited for you guys to come back. But maybe he thinks that it's the wrestling gig again and not what Novo Naivara is about to do. But we'll see. We'll see. When
We'll
we get
see.
there. Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyways, so let's get back into it. So we have you guys. All right, the Manticore has flown off, and Dalton, you can go ahead and transition to roll 20 whenever you're ready.
Okay.
But Naivara and Bjorn are outside the mill, while inside on the second floor, along with Adabra, is Novo, UFO, and Dr. Rivers. What are you guys doing?
Well, we had just dropped off our deer carcasses to the Manticore, and he had already flown off, correct?
Correct.
I will go inside to join the rest of the party.
Yeah, feel free to move yourself upstairs.
When I get up there, I'm going to be like, guys, we saved your sorry butts. We did all that hunting, and now the Manticore's gone. You can thank me now, and I bow.
Nice.
Did the Manticore take all the meat?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
He like picked up one deer and then the other deer with like I think you guys had a few rabbits too, so he picked up with the other claw and
Aw, I was hungry.
Oh, he only wanted 1 pound. Jeez. So hungry.
I know, and then he took like
hungry Manticore.
250 pounds meat.
It's a lot of deer.
it's a lot of deer.
Couple deer for our lives. It's all right.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah. Adabra kind of like looks out the window, so she scurries over to the window and kind of like looks out and watches like it go off into the distance and disappears. And she turns around to you guys. I'll go ahead. Bjorn, are you going upstairs as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move you up there. So she turns around to you guys and goes, "Oh, thank goodness. You know, I don't get too many visitors out here. It's usually me, the one who's traveling to different places, but I'm sure glad you guys got rid of that one."
oh, yeah, us too. Man, you need to come back to Phandalin with us.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
unfortunately, there is a giant dragon in. You need to come back with us so that you can be safe
we.
Please?
from said
Yeah.
dragon.
What's your name, love?
Naivara.
Naivara, sweetie. Thank you
And
so much. What's that?
And that's Doc over there.
Oh, yes, Doctor. Pleasure to meet you.
Doc's okay. You need to come with us, though, please.
Look, listen, all of y'all. I was just having this conversation with you three before you two got here about the Manticore and everything. I don't care if there's this white dragon going by. I am an herbalist. I'm a midwife. I have to prepare my herbs here. There's no other places around here where we can put together and make the healing potions that I can. I have to make sure that if there's any new lives coming into here or any lives that are about to leave this place, that I'm helping both of those out. Meaning that I'm going to stop them from going on. So look, was it Harbin that sent you?
Yes.
Sure was.
Oh, okay. Does anybody have some paper?
I mean, I can just cast sleep on you.
No, just
Don't-
give me some paper. I'm going to write him a note.
Hey, you have paper. Give her your paper. And if you have any ink left, give that to her.
Yeah, I take out like some of the stuff from my scholars pack. There's
Oh
parchment
yeah, you
and,
have it too, Ufo.
and ink and quill, and I hand it to her. It's like, here, just
Actually,
Write him a note. Do you have some way of getting out of here safe in case there's trouble?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, like, I can just book it over to the mountains over there. I'm sure I can find some place to hide.
Why didn't you hide from the Manticore? And I hand her the stuff. Like,
Yeah,
she's probably...
she goes, and she like starts scribbling furiously on the piece of paper, and she hands it back to you. She goes, "Look, I wasn't expecting the Manticore to show up, but I assure you, I will look out for any sort of creature, whether if it's flying or if it's coming by its 2 feet. I will make sure I'm looking out for it, and I will run away. I promise you, sir." What was your name, by the way?
Which one of us?
She points to you, UFO.
The tiny one. She points down to UFO.
Yeah. What's your name, sir?
UFO. My name is UFO.
Oh,
Fizzwizzle.
okay. Pleasure.
I'm gonna turn to Bjorn while this is happening, since we just joined the scene. I'm gonna be like loudly whispering, like, "She's gonna super die."
Yeah, dragon's gonna eat her. And I'm not even
Dragon's
whispering.
gonna eat her.
Like, I do not pick up on the fact that she's whispering, so just normal voice. I'm like, yeah, that dragon's gonna eat her.
Oh my
sure.
gosh.
For sure. Definitely gonna eat her like that Manticore just ate all of our deer.
Man, I really wish I had my ink.
UFO takes back out. UFO takes out the quest bill that he grabbed, and he's rereading it, and he notices that it says it's not safe for her to be alone. Urge her to return to Phandalin. And he's like, okay, like, party, quest done. We did the urging. we did our best, and he's saying this in front of her. Let's head back.
And we have the note saying that she said no. So let's just go back to town, get this money, and we'll call it a night. Oh wait, we have to perform. Yeah, so we'll go do our show.
Yeah, UFO's ready to use his new wand at the show.
I never liked her to begin with, so I'm ready to get out.
Dabra coughs and goes, well, barring everything you all just said about me, I would like to present you my saviors. This, and she pulls out from her coat. It appears to be like a bottle, with like a red liquid kind of filled, and it seems to be kind of like bubbling and sparkling at the same time. And she hands it out to you guys.
I will take that.
Cool, perfect.
What
Doc,
is it?
Yeah, that's. You never said what it does.
What's it smell
Read
like?
the label.
on the label, it probably says like healing, and that's it.
Does it have nutrition information? This is important stuff, guys.
How many calories is it? Nivara can't have too much.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch my sodium intake.
MSG, man, it'll get you.
Healing. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a little text on the back side of the bottle, and it says may contain 2d4 plus 2 hit points.
Ah. Yes, it says it's low sugar. It says it's low sugar and healing magic. No MSG.
Nice.
Says
And break the fourth wall.
What's this? What's kosher? I don't know, but that's probably good.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Adabra, midwife Adabra. Do you want to come back with us for the show, just for the evening?
My last name is Gwyn, but you can just refer to me as Adabra, darling. Well,
I thought Adabra was your last name. I'm so sorry.
it's don't worry about a thing. Well, I do have some things to take care of here, but I can at least promise that I might come back. I can't guarantee anything. Are you going to be performing there quite a bit?
Depends on how long this dragon's in town.
Oof. Well, I mean, on the one hand, I wish that you would take care of that thing quickly, but on the other, I would love to see a performance. I have a lot of work to get to.
Well, if you finish up early tonight, swing on by. We'll be
I'll keep-
playing. We'll be doing a thing.
Oh yeah,
It's an immersive experience for your mind.
I didn't even think to ask. What kind of performance do you guys do?
One that touches your soul.
Oh,
hmm
Loud ones. Loud performances.
Sometimes we fight each other. In glorious, honorable combat in the ring.
oh my. That
It's also tight ropes and stuff.
And
Sometimes
songs. Let's not leave out the music. It's like the most important part.
no minds, though. No. We said no.
Or clowns. We
Or
don't like clowns either.
Because they're scary.
Yeah, you find
Yeah.
those in other regions I've never went to typically.
Yeah, that's not our thing.
No.
she's like
No, there's
not.
enough of a clown anyway. Ha 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 ha.
I like to think that we're bringing these things up specifically because mimes and clowns actually won the contest. We lost it.
Canon. That's
we're
what
like,
I'm
we're
gonna do.
upset.
There's
An
bad blood
elaborate
there.
troupe of acrobat mimes.
No canon.
20. A group of 20 acrobat mimes.
When they went up to take their prize, they didn't even announce their names or anything. They just kind of like walked up there.
Yeah. It was like Jabberwockies with magic. It wasn't even fair.
Oh, there's a real big mime craze going on in Neverwinter right now. So like it's not even like the best show. It's just like what's popular right now.
Mhm.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, they were just riding the wave. Like they're just they aren't
It
even
has nothing
trying
to do with the
they aren't
fact that
even
we were
trying to do their own
unprepared.
thing. Very unoriginal, uninspired, really.
I mean, Bjorn and my performance was basically just a fist fight.
Kind of more like a slap fight.
Slap fight, yeah. We're there, just
Sorry.
it wasn't our proudest
Nevertheless,
moment. Anyway,
Yeah,
we should
she's
probably
been-
get back to town.
our
I-
performance should.
Next time, you really
Sweet.
gotta keep Belinda's name out of your mouth.
Ooh, ooh. Tangerine.
Too soon?
Come quiet.
Too soon?
Persimmon.
Was it too soon?
Persimmon.
Is this circle in the middle? Is that like a pole?
Yes. So essentially, it's a windmill. So basically, that's like the center like post that goes down and like turns and like crushes the herbs and such.
Can I slide down it like a fireman's pole?
It
Because
doesn't.
you're little.
I don't think there's enough space for you to slide. I'll check that. While I'm checking that, she turns to you guys and she's been nodding along this entire time while you guys are describing your performance and goes, what does your troupe call yourselves?
I don't think we picked a name.
The
Brownies.
descent.
We're the
magical-
brownies. No,
No.
not
no.
that.
Naval and Company.
Definitely not that
Nivara and
either.
Company. That's it.
No, that's definitely not that
The
either.
Nivara Parsons Project.
No. What?
Yeah,
We'll get back to you on that
Yeah.
one.
we'll get back to you.
We'll get back to you on that one.
I like to think that was exactly how they presented that to her. Everybody was saying different stuff at the same time, and it was like, "Well, we'll tell you later."
We're
the
workshopping it.
important-
We'll
the
get
important
to you
part-
later.
Is that we're sponsored by
Barthen's Provisions.
Barthen's Provisions, so you should check them out next time you're in town too.
Oh, Barthen's! Yeah, I'm quite familiar with them. They sell everything I don't.
That's good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
yeah.
Well, we'll be off. Come into town. We'll make sure Novo doesn't add to any of your wet nurse work, and we'll be off.
Well, thank you again for stopping by. I know I gave you one of those potions as healing for just for saving me, but if you need any more, I sell them too. So I do have a little bit extra stock that I can part ways with for a reasonable price.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
We need to swing back this way. It's not too far out of town anyway, so.
Exactly.
All right. Bye. Thanks for the note. Hope you don't. Hope you could stay
Hope you
safe.
don't get eaten.
Hope you guys have a safe trip
Nivara.
home. I'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
Yeah, I like she completely ignores Nivara just like saying she's gonna be killed. Eaten.
Bye. Hope you don't. Bye, buddy. Hope you find
you
your
don't-
dad.
Hope you don't die. Oh.
Yeah. All right. So we're on our way back to Phandalin.
Perfect. You guys travel. So you left Nomengard, I think, pretty early. I think we said right around 8 a.m. is when Novo got there and stuff like that. So I'm gonna move you guys to the Sword Coast map, by the way, real quick. So I think we said 8 a.m. is when Novo got there. You guys met up, and you left for Umbrage Hill maybe half an hour later, and you got there 2 hours later. So I think it was like 11 or 12 by the time you got there, and it's gonna take probably about another couple, maybe a little bit more than a couple hours back. So you get back to Phandalin probably like around like 4 p.m. Let's say 4 p.m. It's like in the afternoon, but it's not evening just yet. So you still have some time in the day and everything. And I was just pulling up the map. So you came from Nomengard, went to Umbrage Hill, then got to Phandalin, and then now let me pull you back to the Phandalin map. Yay! Like I said last week, the maps look nice and crisp because we downloaded them from D&D Beyond. Not sponsored, but they're great. There was a little code included with the Essentials Kit box that I redeemed with my D&D Beyond account and download the maps.
Yeah, they are. That's a crisp map.
Yes.
And we enter town on the Tribor Trail, right? That's kind of where we
Actually,
enter in from, or are we coming in from somewhere else this time?
no, you should be coming in. Maybe you come in on the Miners Trail, because the Tribor Trail, you're coming in from the south essentially. So I'll move you guys to the southern end, but you're gonna be coming in from the Miners Trail down here, if that makes sense. So
Okie dokie.
so yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we should go turn in a couple of these quests we finished. Who did they say we have to talk to about that?
Let's see. I think it says on our on each flyer that we got, the Umbrage Hill. Let's see. We have to head back to the town master to get the gold for the note, saying that we talked to
the Harbin fellow.
and
Harbin Wester.
yeah, actually, we have to talk to the same guy for the Nomengard, letting them know that Nomengard's all good. They're just out there making wine from mushrooms and bread from mushrooms and making inventions that are unreasonably dangerous for no reason.
All right. Do we know where he lives?
Well,
Yeah, he's probably at the town master's hall. It's the middle of the day, right?
yes.
Oh, so within the game world, there's also just the text Town Master's Hall with an arrow pointing.
Yeah,
to the house, like, right
well,
above
you
it?
guys got your original quest from the Town Master Hall.
We've been to the town master's hall. Like, this is the place we've been in.
Oh, I thought the quest board was just like a bulletin board outside in the middle of town.
I think it's like right outside the Town Master Hall. So like essentially like the quest, there's like a quest board outside like the Town Master Hall and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It doesn't specifically say in the Essentials Kit. It just says like out at the Town Master Hall. There's like quests there and stuff like that. So I like to imagine that you can go inside for copies of the quest, but on the outside they're like posted up too.
Okay.
Wait, so out of character, I thought we talked to the town master a couple sessions ago when we first got into town.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
The people you talked to, because you and Bjorn and Ufo went to Stonehill Inn and talked to Toblin, while Nivara and Novo went to Lounge Shield Coaster and talked to Linnell. And then you discussed with Toblin, just like, we want to do the quests. And then you went down, got your quests, then you went back, performed, and then you went to Barthen's in the morning because Ander and Thistle promised you a discount, to which Barthen was kind of upset, but then promised, and then you guys negotiated a sponsorship, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so We have to find this town master. I don't know where we do that, is
Yeah.
what I guess I meant to say.
Well, as you guys approach the center of town, yeah. So essentially, Town Master Hall is this kind of like, think of it kind of like a church, but if like the church was like empty, it's just like open space, much more like a rec center type deal. Like there's like chairs and stuff that they just have kind of pushed to the side, but during the day it's mostly just like empty floor. But on the outside, plastered to the doors, but then there's also a board which you got your original quest from. Outside you actually see a hold on, I have a description for this man. Let me go to it. This is my D&D loading music. Yeah.
Get some sax going up in there.
So he looks to be kind of like how he positions himself. He's like so you see this man at the board, and he's like hammering in what appears to be new sheets of paper onto this like board. And how he's had it, he kind of has his back straight and his like butt out a little bit. And he's holding a hammer like he's never held a hammer in his before. Like he's holding it kind of daintily, and he's just kind of like hitting it like with like light taps and kind of like closing one eye, peeking at it, and then just lightly tapping it again. And he looks to be middle age, and he's just tapping it in. But he all of a sudden he like looks around and see you guys approaching, and you just see him like jump a little bit, throw his hammer and nails in the air, and then run. He runs all the way down here and runs inside this house. I'm not sure if you saw, but he ran inside this house right over here.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just walk over there. Yeah. Doc just does that.
Don't know why we're running after him, but we are. It's like, hey, what happened?
All right. We'll just walk over to this house because it doesn't look that far.
Is there anybody else in the Town Master's Hall, like after he leaves? Like if we walk up and peek inside, is there anybody else in there?
There doesn't appear to be anybody inside the hall. It's pretty open and blank right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, do you think that was our guy? Just follow him?
I mean, we can at least ask him.
Yeah, why did he run from us?
He certainly knows of us.
Do we stink that bad?
I mean, I know you do, but not from that far.
So Bjorn just walks up and just goes and knocks on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we just gotta go talk to him, guys.
Yeah, agreed, Bjorn.
So you guys go up, and Bjorn knocks on the door on that this man ran into, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear from the door, if you're a dragon, know that I'm far too thin and bony to make a good meal.
What?
If you can look at me, you'd see that I am a dwarf. While I do have a helmet that has antlers on top of it, I am not a deer. I am definitely a dwarf, and most definitely not a dragon.
That certainly sounds good, but I'll stay in here. What do you want?
Okay.
Ask if he's Harbin.
Are you Harbin?
Yes.
I'm a dragon.
And then you just hear scuttling. You hear him scuttling, and he runs maybe into a different room.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't pass up that opportunity. I'll go.
It was hilarious.
Someone with better persuasion, come do this. I'll go back online.
Doc's laughing. Doc just hands on his head, he's cracking up.
Why do we not have the bards talk to the people? I never understand this.
Worth it.
Right.
Yeah. Nova or Navarra, be nice to that man and get our money.
Yeah.
I will knock on the door again and say, "Excuse me, Townmaster Harbin."
When he ran, you heard his footsteps kind of like faintly like trot off, so he might be in a different room now.
Is the door unlocked?
No, it's locked.
Can I go around like back? Are there
Yeah,
windows?
yeah.
Can I just like walk around the house, find a window?
Yeah. So you start walking around the windows. Now, like, these are like olden windows, so they have like wooden shutters and stuff, and all of them are like shut and like locked. But you can go around to different like shuttered windows. It's I believe it's like a ranch. It's not like 2 stories. It's like a 1 floor building.
Okay. Well, can I hear him cowering in any of the rooms? Like, meh.
Do a perception check.
Well,
Yes.
While Justin's doing that, are any of his neighbors home?
You can start investigating and go knock and
Okay.
ask.
Yeah, can I knock? Can I knock on this I'm guessing this is their closest neighbor.
Sure. Yeah.
Go knock on their door.
Knock. A woman answers the door and goes, "Yes. How can I help you?"
Hi. I'm name's UFO, with the new group of adventurers doing some chores for the town master, and
Right.
we're trying to turn in the quests because we completed them and we would appreciate the reward.
Right.
But he ran into his house and appears to be cowering.
I'm surprised he came out at all. He usually shuts himself in that place. He doesn't like coming out. The dragon's got him real spooked right now.
Understandable. Dragons are scary.
Yeah.
How do we get paid?
Well, I've seen other adventurers come by, and he pays them. He usually just he pays them underneath the door. He doesn't seem to come out to greet anybody who shows up.
So we just slide it under the door, and he slides gold back out.
That's what I've seen.
So does he like slide like 1 gold coin like under like the little like crevice of the door at the time? So I imagine that process must take a while.
I don't stare, but they do seem to be standing there for a while. And then
Wow.
Doc, what was your perception check?
It's a 14.
14?
Not great.
Yeah, like you get to like 1 window that's like on the other side of the house, and you hear kind of like just this.
Okay. I'm gonna knock on the window real quick. Hey. Townmaster Harbin?
Yeah.
We talked to the midwife. She
Adabra?
says she's okay. Yeah, Adabra. She says she's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she kind of fought off a manticore, so I'm pretty sure she could take care of herself.
What she
But-
did?
Yeah, well, we helped a lot. But yeah. Well, yeah. But so she gave us this note. Wait, I don't know if I have a note. She gave us a note. You need to come out and get it so we can give it to you.
Is that dragon gone?
Oh yeah, the dragon's not anywhere near here. You can come out. It's
Oh.
safe.
Okay, and you hear kind of like crawling, like kind of like scraping on the ground, and then just little foot patters back towards the door. Maybe at the front door.
Okay. Running. Bjorn, take your helmet off.
Dalton, is UFO still talking to that woman?
No, UFO says thanks.
'Kay.
Appreciate the help. What was your name? B to the W?
My name is Theldon.
Okay, nice to meet you, Theldon. Sorry to bother you.
No, it's and you said your name is UFO?
Yeah, name's UFO.
Good luck getting paid.
UFO, you're performing tonight.
Oh, whoa, right. Yeah, we're performing tonight. I should come by Stonehill Inn for some of this. And he takes out his wand and he shoots the wand of pyrotechnics straight up into the air.
Yeah. Can you give me a performance check?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Because she was like shutting the door, and then you started talking to her, and she like opened it back up to like listen.
Yeah.
Oh.
9.
9. Okay. She doesn't look enthused. She's just kind of like, she was like ready to like go back to her day, and you're like, wait. Actually, look, I can perform stuff, and you shoot something off, and she's like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. And then she shuts the door.
No taste in this town from anybody.
Ufo's been having the worst luck with showing off his skills here.
Look what I can do. Look what I can do. And you like light a sparkler.
Bjorn puts his hand on Ufo's shoulder and was like, "For what it's worth, buddy, I thought that was a fantastic, micro performance you just gave right there."
Thank you. People like 300 feet away probably heard that. That was a big bang. That was one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone actually started coming. And I don't know, do they have cops in this town? We might want to get out of here.
All right, so you guys probably return to the front of the door, and you hear like just Harbin once again go, "Are you at the front again? Can you slide the letter to me?"
Hey,
We also went to Nomengard, Harbin.
Who's that? Wait, you went to? What are all your names?
I'm Nivara.
My name is Dragonside.
Huh?
Don't
No,
listen
not
to
a
him.
dragon.
He's
Don't
Bjorn
listen to him.
outside. He's
That's
just being a
Bjorn.
jerk. He's a little dork.
Doc. This is Novo. That's Ufo. Ufo, do you have the note? Who has the note?
Yeah, I have the note. And he takes it out of his satchel and slides it under the door.
You hear the rustling of paper and just like murmuring under Harbin's breath, "Coward, just, I can take care of myself." Oh, okay, all right. Okay. Well, it sounds like Deborah's doing just fine. What was that about Nomengard? You warned them, or I'm sorry, you tried to get? Did you get anything good from them?
What do you
Well-
mean get anything good?
The magic
all crabs.
items
Yeah, we got some cool
to
stuff.
fight the dragon.
Oh yeah, we got those. They gave them to
Right.
us.
What
We're
did
friends with them now.
what did you get?
I got this
Not
snazzy
a
hat.
barrel crab.
Sorry.
I got fancy stick that gets bigger and smaller.
What did Ufo say?
He got a snazzy hat and a wand that does this, and he fires off another pyrotechnic.
That sounds great. He can't see through the door. He's still behind the door locked, so he just goes, "That sounds cool." What's that about a hat?
I kind of like I do a little like grab the brim and like flick it up, and it lets me cast some cool new spells half the time, maybe more than half the time.
That sounds great. Hey, can I have that hat? I'll pay you 50 gold.
50 gold?
Yeah. Can I have the hat?
Do you know how to cast spells? Are you a
I'm
wizard?
sure it's useful. I'm sure it's fine.
Are you a wizard?
No?
Then I don't think you're gonna get any use out of the hat, man.
Do you want 50 gold or not?
I mean, I want the 50 gold.
Shakedown, oh my god. Jesus.
I want the 50 gold for completing the quests you asked us to complete.
If you look at the fine print, it specifically says to bring back items that are useful, and I think that hat is useful, so I will trade you 50 gold for it. His like voice gets quieter and quieter as he's like demanding to get the hat.
Ufo takes out the quest.
Yeah, Doc's looking over his shoulder down with his readers on.
And he goes to Bjorn. Bjorn, you mentioned you were a noble, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a lawyer on retainer?
Yeah, sure. Let me just call him on my cell phone.
Nah, it says if we bring it back
No.
and we don't want to keep it ourselves, he'll give us 50 gold for it. But if we want to just keep everything the gnomes gave us, he's not going to give us 50 gold.
I will.
speaking of which,
Hold on. Let me.
Bjorn, you should take this. And Doc takes off that amulet because he was reading more about what it did, and he thinks Bjorn should have it.
What does amulet do?
Here, I have.
When you think about striking something, you'll be able to strike it better.
Nice.
Magics from other planes. You actually can. Dan, are you using the D&D Beyond app?
Yeah, I've got it.
I also have.
If you type into manage inventory, you type in the clockwork amulet, it'll come up.
Nice.
Sorry, Spencer.
Okay.
No, it's all good. Harbin also peeks up and goes, "Well, while we're debating about the hat, here, I'll start paying you for Umbridge Hill." And you hear like the clinking of coins, and then one gold piece shoots from underneath the door,
No.
and then a second gold piece shoots from underneath the door, and then a third. And if you guys wait long enough, 25 gold will be kind of pushed from underneath the door.
We'll wait for it.
So we keep waiting then, or?
Yeah, he slides you 25 gold.
Okay.
So
sweet.
can I buy the hat?
No, I want the hat.
Oh.
And you're not going to get any use out of it, guy.
Yes, I will. I'll fight the dragon off with it. Or maybe...
You're
aren't
not
we gonna
fighting
do
this
that?
dragon.
I thought
He
we were
can't even
fighting the
come say
dragon.
hi to us.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll sell you the hat if you come out and take it off of my head.
Make a persuasion check.
Interesting.
Let's see if this works.
For what? What am I making this what are you interpreting me trying to do here?
For him to come out and take the hat off so he'll buy it from you?
I'm not saying I want him to do that.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Oh, okay.
I want to keep the hat. It's a fun item. I want
It's
if
like
he
an
wants
intimidation
it,
check to make him drop the subject.
Right, if he wants it so bad, that's what I'm doing. If he wants it so bad, he can come out and take it.
Okay.
Like I want him to prove that he wants it.
All right, we don't have to make a roll then. We can just sit. He goes, no, that's okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought, guy.
I mean, I guess I can give you the stick, but I kind of really like it. It's good for my trapezing.
No, Nivara.
I only wanted the hat.
Stick.
Can't even
Give
use
this
the
to
hat.
Well, now I'm offended that you don't want my hat. Or my stick, I mean. Words are hard.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, there was another quest on that board, right? Should we go look into that?
yeah, I think you posted some more quests. Let's go do that. That sounds like a great idea, UFO.
Well, no.
However,
Yeah, there
even,
was something about dwarves.
yeah, even before that, there was a thing about some dwarves nearby.
Yeah, dwarves.
I say whatever we can do to prepare better for this fight.
So yeah, I like to imagine you guys were like walking back to the Townmaster Hall after dealing with all that is Harbin. And like, because he has the door shut and he can't see you guys, I like to imagine just like after you guys have left, he goes, "So, are you doing anything else? Like take on other quests? Guys?"
Yeah.
Hello? But no,
Yeah.
no, after
No,
you
we're
guys
already gone.
You're gone.
Sorry.
And
Wow, Bjorn, you got great hearing, sir.
anyways, so you guys are moving along the way back to the Townmaster Hall, and you're talking about the Dwarven quest. When all of a sudden you hear like from like across the road, probably like you guys are walking one side and from the other side of the road, like you hear, "Ha! We've already taken care of that!" And you see this other group of adventurers that are right there. You see kind of like a tiefling who like kind of like is standing all tall and proud, maybe like takes a snap and like light like a little bit of fire pops out of her hand. You see an olden wizard kind of staring at all of you, just like unsure of like what you're doing. You see an elf who's all prim and proper and kind of like has like a wide stance and looking at you. Just kind of, she was the one who told you like we've already taken care of that. You see an older kind of like gruff guy just kind of like off in the corner over there, and then you just see well, you see this thing over here on the side, and who's just staring blankly off into the distance.
What is it?
Some sort of like
Is it a-
fish creature.
Is it
Yeah.
Turtle Man?
It looks like a fish creature of some sort.
They think they're better than us, don't they?
Sophie, or
You
sorry.
recognize
kinda are.
them
They have
from
a fish
the
creature.
performance.
Oh yeah, you do. They were a rival entertainment troupe. They didn't beat the mimes, of course, but they were runner-ups. they placed like second, and you know the so like this tiefling's name is Ivari. This gruff older guy's name is Uvras. The fish thing, nobody pronounced his name correctly. It started with a G and then it just turned into like nonsense. This older guy's what?
Glug, glug.
Yeah, exactly. This older guy's name is Griff, but the elf who told you we've already done it and like stood all proud and stuff, her name is Sophie, and she goes, "Yeah, we took care of it, and obviously we're better than you."
Okay.
I'm gonna get up in her face and I'm gonna be like, really? Really? You can't even sing on key.
Says the one who tripped over herself when trying to do a simple somersault.
Can you do a somersault?
I don't need to. I can sing.
That means you can't.
Novo, get your organ out.
Not in public.
Oh well, unfortunately, it's already here. And he turns around, and it's already magically floating.
While they're all talking, I want to walk up to the fish creature and just be like, hey.
He like looks over, but like when he looks at you, his eyes are facing like each way, and he just kind of
crazy.
just looks at you.
What's up? My name's Bjorn. You look pretty cool. I've never seen a fish creature before. What's your name? Okay. Sweet. I think you're gonna be my new best friend.
Oh.
Sick. And just like I walk back.
The older guy next to the fish guy goes, "Yeah, he doesn't talk much, so just be careful and don't pet him. He bites. He bites hard."
Wow, that's a good quality right there.
Yep.
The biting
I start
is
playing
good.
my lute.
No. Well, I mean, I guess the biting. Yeah, it's, that's up for interpretation. But being
Wait,
he
so-
doesn't talk much. That's
Mm.
we've got wisdom there.
Yeah,
You guys warned the dwarves
someone could
that
probably
the-
learn from that. And he like stares at the elf woman.
Oh,
Wait, what'd you say?
Ufo's like, Bjorn's like, oh yeah, being quiet, that's a virtue. And Ufo's like, yeah, someone could probably take a lesson from that. And he's like staring at the elf lady.
Right. She goes, "Oh," and Ilvari kind of like steps forward and goes, "Hey, I like your fire.
You do?
Yeah, it's great.
Do you want
I
to?
can do it too." And she does like a little like what's like a dancing light cantrip probably, but makes it like orange and kind of flow through the air.
Ooh, can I do that too?
Yeah.
I also want to cast dancing lights. I want our lights to
Yeah.
dance together.
You both of you are kind of like dancing lights together.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's really cute.
Oh.
Noticing kind of a little bit of tension, but then this connection between Ufo and the a tiefling, I believe. I kind of speaking to this party in front of us and everybody around,
Yeah.
with my magical organ, like start up a tune, and I say, "Greetings, greetings, everyone around, lend me your ear. I have something you'd love to hear. Another performance from yours truly tonight at Stonehill Inn, one that is much more ruly."
Yeah! All right, Christian. Do you can do performance or persuasion, whatever you'd like to do to try to see if you can, because this is the goal of this. You're trying to attract more people to your performance tonight, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
And hopefully set a better note.
Yeah.
Here. No pun intended. Yeah, I mean, my persuasion check is better, so. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, no, it's not, because I haven't leveled up yet. I lied. Just kidding. All right. Let's go with performance, I guess.
Sounds
There.
good. So how I'm ruling this is that was a great rhyme in singing. So essentially, I'm lowering the difficulty check. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, but like compared to what Bjorn and Doc and UFO were doing when they were first in town, this is going to be a bit easier just because of how well you just performed. So
Okay. Let's go ahead and here.
do you also have any inspiration right now?
I do.
Perfect.
But I'll go ahead and
Use
use
it?
it, and that just gives me advantage on the roll, right?
Yes, essentially.
Well,
You get to
I
re-roll
usually recommend
Or should I
waiting
roll
until you need it.
after I roll?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because it's before I reveal whether it passes or fails.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this works like that. All right. Yeah, so +4 then, and that is a 7.
Yeah, you're gonna probably want to do
Yeah,
it.
you should-
Yeah.
might
Let's
wanna
go ahead and
it.
use that inspiration. I've been sitting on it a little bit. I want to inspire some people.
You can also give yourself Bardic Inspiration.
This will be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a net 20!
What did I say?
Yeah! So obviously this is like a rival entertainment group, or like right across from you. And like you just like bellow out this song, and people who were mind their own business like kind of turn to you amazed by your singing talents and beautiful playing, and kind of like look over at you and are just kind of like awed and shocked. People open their windows to like look out and see who's singing this like masterful song.
It's like a Disney movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's like 3 girls walking with like buckets, like carrying buckets and stuff, and they turn to you and they go, ah, like the stereotypical.
Yeah.
Somehow everybody's dancing, like very choreographed. Everybody in the town is just dancing along with it.
Bjorn just says, "What is this, North Korea?"
So this rival team, like they were probably gonna like accost you some more, like especially Sophie. Sophie was really gonna like dogging you guys, but like seeing this, she goes, "Oh, fine, let's get out of here, guys," and she starts storming off. Everybody follows her, and she turns around, she goes, "We'll be back. Maybe we'll perform something better." And she like walks off.
As they walk away, I yell out. I go, "Bye!" Ah! That was his name, right?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. He
That's
turns
what he
back
told
to
me
you.
his name was.
Yeah,
He turns back to me.
yeah. He turns back to you and he goes, ah, 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 and he turns away.
Bye. Ah, to you too.
Huh.
So, yeah. So, anyways.
I'm
I
gonna
feel like I
sidle
should
up to
save my life
Doc, and
one
I'm like,
day.
"Are
I
you?"
don't know why. I'm sorry, Nightmara. What did you say?
I was gonna sidle up to Doc, and I'm gonna be like, "You're jealous, aren't you?"
A little.
I'm sorry, Doc. No one will ever replace you in my heart. But I mean, look at him. He's a
Weird.
fish.
I wasn't sure. I thought I was ready to kill him first.
Well, I mean, don't you want to be friends with that guy? I want to be friends with that guy.
How doesn't he like dry up? He's a fish person.
I don't know. See, these are the things I want to find out.
Did he look
You can't
moist?
find these things out
Did he-
without being friends with them, because that's just rude.
Did he look wet?
I guess that's better.
Oh yeah, he was slimy for sure. Like
Oh.
covered in slime.
Oh,
He gave off the smell of like a tuna.
like old tuna.
Yeah.
Like in a good way or a bad? Okay, bad.
No,
way.
like
Bad.
maybe can't. Yeah. So
Like a fish market at the end of the day.
I was
Boom.
just thinking, like, do we know what class he was?
No.
By looking at
I
him?
mean, could he just be like a evocation wizard? He just casts like.
He was
Yeah,
carrying
but,
a spear.
He
I
could have
think-
been
I
an
think he's just a
evocation,
fish.
so.
He just casts water on himself all the time, or something, or some water spell that just.
I know. I've heard sometimes
Right.
druids can like awaken animals. Maybe he's just like a fish somebody like decided to bestow a brain to.
Sentience.
He was like, so he was as tall as like probably Bjorn. He was like 5 foot tall.
Well, no, then that even just deepened Bjorn's love for just being at the same height. You know, he's just like, my God, I don't know what it is about this thing. I just
No,
this guy just seems like he's really cool.
Ufo's not a fan of the practically a kaiju to him. It's like twice his height. Like a fish man twice his size.
Yeah,
Understand,
with you,
Ufo.
Ufo.
It can be intimidating.
he was stinky and sticky.
All right, well let's check out the quest board. I think Harbin put up some new stuff.
Yeah.
Since apparently those guys took care of the dwarven thing already.
All right.
Oh, is there more?
It looked
Well,
like it. He was I'm gonna nailing
That's true. Yeah.
new stuff,
well,
I think. His
I'm
tech
not
is-
sure how.
I'm not sure who taught him how to use a hammer, but
So as you approach the quest bar, you actually see there's 3 new slips of paper with the quest. So I'm gonna start revealing the quest to you guys. So let's first reveal the Butterskull Ranch quest. Would
Oh,
one of
that
you
sounds
guys
cool.
like to read the Butterskull Ranch quest? Bjorn?
I've been working on my reading.
Yeah, you have.
Doc Rivers has been assisting
Yeah.
me, so I'm gonna give it a try.
Go for it, buddy. You got this.
Oinks have a Turked Butterskull Ranch, Thieve Miles Ias of Berry along the tree bowl. Bar trail. Travel there with Hast S the damage and help any way you can. Those are easier. Those are all three-letter words. This one's oh boy.
you can skip it if it's too hard. Just
Yeah, so this guy, the ranch owner, is a retired retired
Yep, you got it.
Sharif, who can reward you for your efforts if he's deed
Dead. You know that.
dead. Return to Townmaster Harbin Weister with proof of that guy Demise to receive. Is that receive? Okay, a reward of 100 GP.
So we have to go to a ranch
Peace.
just a little further outside town and help the owner with some.
If he's not
orcs that-
dead yet.
If he's not dead. If he's dead, we let the town master know, and he gives us a reward.
Yeah.
I almost I don't want him to be dead, but like that'd be pretty easy. It's an easy
Yeah.
quest.
That's an easy one. What other ones are there on here?
The next one you guys are gonna get is the Lockers Camp Quest. All right. That pop up for
Before
everyone.
we- Yeah.
Sure did.
Before we even see
someone
this
else
next
can-
one. I'm like, yeah, Bjorn, you might want to, I can help you with this. You might want to take some reading lessons from a actual, sage or something.
Doc, he's a doctor. He's smart, I'm sure.
I thought
Smart enough to know who to prioritize next time people get hurt. Anyway.
well, and see, everyone, Bjorn is like really, really, really sensitive about his reading, and everyone was giving him positive feedback, and he thought he did a good job there.
Yeah.
Did.
So you saying that, you were like, Bjorn was like, I thought I read it okay. I thought
You did read it okay.
But he said I
did a
did.
good
Doc.
job.
Don't listen.
You did a
don't
really
listen
good
to
job,
Novo.
Bjorn.
I thought I was
Novo's
learning.
mean.
I thought I was learning to read good.
Oh
You
yeah,
are learning to read good.
from where you started, I'm sure there's been a huge improvement.
Novo.
Where you need to be.
Bjorn just like goes silent and is just like, I'm gonna go like kick some rocks down the street or something, and just like walks down the street, like goes over here.
Hope you're happy, Novo. Now
Yeah.
he's sad kicking rocks.
No.
All right, yeah, Novo,
That's on
you're so
That's
good
on
at
you.
reading. Why don't you read this one?
Sure. The Loggers Camp Quest. I try to be really like.
Yeah, you better be careful.
Like, just
You better not mess up
slow
when you
it.
read it, Novo.
Deep in Neverwinter Wood, along the river that flows west towards Neverwinter, is a logging camp. Every 2 months, Fendelin delivers fresh supplies to the camp, which is run by the half-brother of Fendelin's townmaster, Harbin Wester. Barthen, the local provisioner, has prepared a new delivery. He needs someone to bear the supplies safely to the camp. Return to Harbin Wester with a notice of delivery signed by his half-brother, Tibor Wester, to claim your reward of 100 gold pieces. Oh,
Do you
100
think
gold.
we can negotiate the price up since Barthen's sponsoring us?
Maybe. Maybe we can get cheaper goods. Exchange for more store credit.
Was
than
it not?
plain monies?
Were we getting an increased discount every quest that we did for them or something like that?
If we
Was that
give
a
him,
thing?
if we give him shout outs and like at the performances and like we prove that we're bringing business in, then he said he might give us a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Anyway,
I heard what I wanted to hear, I guess.
there's a third one here. What's this say? And
All
God,
right. The third
close
one
it
you
off for
see
now.
is called Mountain Toes Quest.
Mountains Toe Gold Mine lies 15 miles northeast of Phandalin. The new overseer, Don John Raskin, just made the trip from Neverwinter to Phandalin and needs to be escorted to the mine. There's no telling what dangers lie between here and there. Once you deliver Raskin safe and sound, return to Harbin, collect 100 gold. All right. Let me hold on. Ufo, do you have the map? Who has the map?
Oh yeah, map. There's
a
I think
map?
I think there's one nailed up inside the hall.
Yes. Let me move you guys to the map. Woo, boop.
All right.
Oh yes, this map.
Let's see. Deep in the Neverwinter Woods. So the first one would be somewhere here. Butterskull Ranch is along the Tribor Trail, which means over here. And then what did they say? Butterskull Ranch. 5 miles east of Coneyberry. Doc is squinting at the map looking for Coneyberry.
Testing his glasses.
Yeah, sorry. I will mark these locations for you guys, so do not worry about a thing.
Oh.
We're how about we go ahead and take our break, and when you guys come back, I'll have these locations actually marked on your map for you, so you can see where you need to go.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. So,
Sounds like a good plan to me.
what are you guys planning on going to the inn after our break and doing a performance, or what's the kind of general plan after the quest? Yeah.
How long is a long rest again? Like, could we get a long rest in before the performance?
A
Yeah.
long rest is 8 hours.
Yeah.
What time is it? Like,
Last time you performed, it was like 7 o'clock. But like, who regulates these things? They don't have watches.
well, that's what I'm wondering. Maybe we can get a long rest in, level up, and then performance time.
See, I
Well,
would
I
say
don't-
let's perform this evening
And then,
and then
long
take a long rest and go for our quest the next morning.
Yeah,
Good.
first
And
thing.
we should be
Yeah.
provided lodging, after our performance. It's going to drive so much sales through the.
Yeah, I just like to make sure that we're well rested before performances. But I think we'll be all right with just chilling out.
Hey,
for
at
a
least
minute,
we're not
grabbing
drunk
some
this
food.
time.
Well, that's a problem because we should be.
Yet.
Puts you in peak performance state.
Yeah, Bjorn, sooner we do that
I
performance,
thought
sooner
that's
we
why
get those
you
tater
lost
tots.
the last thing.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, all right, I'm in.
All right. Well, we're gonna
Tater tots.
take a few minutes of break. We'll probably be back in about 5 minutes. Everybody, so get a glass of water, go use the restroom, and we'll be back in a bit.
See you soon,
Get
guys.
ready.
Welcome back! We have returned from our break. Now, this, of course, is the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing game. I'm Spencer, and these are my party members: Dalton, Dan, Justin, Ashley, and Christian. I did it kind of in the row. If you're following along clockwise, it went from me up and then over. Sorry. Anyways, so we're doing the Essentials Kit, the second introductory box from Dungeons and Dragons: Wizards of the Coast. And the adventure is called The Dragon of Icespire Peak. The party has just returned to Phandalin, the kind of like the town hub, from doing a couple different quests. They got back to town. They after speaking with Adabra and got like a cool potion and stuff. They got back to town, negotiated, shall we say, with Harbin, who wouldn't come out of his house. Then they met a kind of another adventuring party that they recognized from their failed competition they did right before this adventure. And then now they've just gotten 3 new quests. So, sorry I was a bit distracted before we went to break, but I have on the map now our 3 quests that we have. So, Melton Toe Gold Mine is just northeast of Phandalin, right over here. We have Coneyberry up in the super northeast, following the Tribord Trail. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but I believe somebody in town told you about a little bit about Coneyberry. And just to the east of that is Butterskull Ranch, which was another one of your quests. And then deep in the forest along the river is the Loggers Camp, which you guys have to go, I think, warn Harbin's brother. Is that what they said? So.
Okay. Well, let's give this a think. I mean, we'll probably set out on this tomorrow.
Yes.
We promised a performance next time we were in town. So why don't we go get set up for that?
Let's go get set up for that.
Perfect. So you guys are heading to Stonehill Inn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I have you guys a little surprise. I actually made the inn. So I have an inn for us to kind of work
Oh, cool.
with.
Oh,
Wow.
cool.
Yeah. So got it's not as fancy as those pre-made maps, but this was all made using Roll20's like internal stuff. Like all of this is just free assets from Roll20 and Pathfinder. So everything you see here was just provided for free just using Roll20, which is super helpful. For the most part, a lot of these assets are just from like the packs already on here. The only thing I didn't get from packs was this kind of like this wooden circular stage that I put right here. That I did have to search online through Roll20 to get, but it was also free. So these are all free assets. But But yeah, go ahead. Oh, sorry. I thought somebody said something. But anyways, so you guys walk into the inn up here on the left. Toblin, of course, is behind the bar. But as you guys walk in, he goes, "Oh, hey, guys! I have a stage set up for you. Do you want me to get out the ropes?"
Well, we're doing something different tonight, I think.
From the wrestling?
Yeah, it's gonna be more musical.
More musical, yeah.
He looks back at Novo and Navarra. Or musical?
Absolutely.
Artistic.
Myself and Naivara and anybody else that wants to join have prepared something special for everybody here.
A few patrons kind of look your way, but they didn't hear your fantastic singing. Well, actually, no, you rolled a nat 20. Here's what happened. Basically, the guests kind of like don't really notice you when you first walk in, but as soon as they hear your voice, they all kind of turn to you, and they're kind of like a few like raise their glass, and you hear a kind of like from among the bar. So this kind of like downtrodden looking kind of like bar goers kind of like lighten up when they hear your lovely voice.
Yeah.
I like to think as we're coming in, as this happens, I kind of just like, royal wave to everybody. the high elf wave, it's like, yes.
That's what they call it. They call it the high elf wave.
Yeah, high elf wave.
So you guys are dancing and singing this time? We're not gonna do the wrestling show. Well, what's UFO gonna do?
Bagpipes.
What do you need? What's UFO gonna do? What
Very
do you guys?
well.
You guys need some
Light show.
That exactly.
Light show.
We
Okay.
need some pyrotechnics.
Okay, cool. All right.
And honestly, at this point, like I'm fine, if Doc Rivers here, and I imagine we're kind of just like huddled a little bit, like trying to keep it down so they don't get any ideas that we're not prepared. And I'm like, Doc Rivers, if you want to like still do some wrestling moves around the area and to kind of bring like some like your own version of interpretive dancing, but like you're doing wrestling moves, right? Like,
Listen up, you pedantic nonsense person. Doc Rivers is cultured. He pulls out a little like pan flute thing from his bag. Oh, I know how to play this. Huh? You like this? And he's
Plays hot cross buns.
Yeah.
I want to imagine
What?
out of. Oh, sorry.
No, yeah. And he taps. Yeah. Bjorn knows.
that works.
Yeah. Out of character, I want to imagine that if Doc Rivers didn't know how to play the pan flutes and was just doing some like wrestling moves and stuff, I really want to imagine that it'd be like Mac from Always Sunny, just doing like karate moves, like little like fucking like kicks and stuff.
I just want to showcase my karate for my character.
Like,
Naivara, you could probably use Bjorn. Bjorn, how high up do you think you could toss Naivara? Just like straight up.
High.
How high are the ceilings in the tavern?
Probably not very.
Spencer?
Oh, sorry. 7 feet. No, how tall is a normal building? Is that 11 feet? 11 feet.
10 feet.
Like 10 or 11 feet.
Yeah, what am I talking about?
Okay, so maybe don't toss her up. Maybe don't toss her up too far. She'll bonk her head.
Well, I could maybe say that in my song that I wrote for this special night, I have somebody doing a suplex from the ceiling. And if we need to, put Featherfall on somebody as we're doing this, we could cast that, right?
Ooh.
We can cast that.
We can
Make
cast
sure
it.
everybody's safe, but it looks cool.
Guys, I have a really good idea for the performance. I think it might be kind of cool if we did an intro with the bagpipes, and then brought in some high notes from the pan flute, and then brought in like the real heavy hitting organ. And Naivara, I forget what instrument you play.
I
Okay.
play the lute. I can sing, and I tumble.
Oh, there you go. So, and then we get some heavy hitting with the organ coming in, and boom, Nivara and Nova start singing, and it's just a big old wonderful song.
So I actually do have lyrics. I will be singing something. And I will say that for my song that I've created here for this night, it does start off in a more chipper, upbeat tempo. So we'd want to start off with that. And then you will notice towards the end, it will slow down into a more serious but defiant ending.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
Sweet.
you said like a chipper upbeat opening.
Yeah,
What kind
get
of-
everybody, going.
Yeah. So we want to
And then we make them depressed.
so
Well,
what
that's not what I would
means
say,
what this
but-
means to me is like we want to start off with like a
Something like
loud
that?
bang or
I
Just-
think if it's chipper, we should start off with the pan flute.
pan flutes.
It's more whimsical.
Okay, cool. So like some
No,
pan flutes and,
Like,
some, and some sparks.
Okay. that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Closely.
When
And
do I
then-
get when do I get to make a
and
big
then
explosion though?
When I think so at the beginning, the portion of the song I think is better for these big bangs and these pops and the crackles.
Mhm.
Really get people excited and jovial, I guess.
I
But-
think right before the big explosion,
Right. Yeah.
there should be a bagpipe solo.
Bagpipe
Like that.
solo.
I do a
I was just
bagpipe
gonna say.
solo, and it ends with like a bunch of explosions.
And then we go into the slower bits and bobs.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So we
okay,
start
okay.
like chipper and like happy and like
Pan
build
flute.
up the intensity to a
Yeah,
climax,
yeah.
and then we give them like
Yeah.
a nice like chill denouement to end the night.
I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
I think we're ready.
I arrange you guys at the table, kind of in the northwest kind of section, while you're having this discussion. So Tobling kind of comes over, approaches the table, and he brings over Bjorn and Doc Rivers, the same like kind of hearty beer that he gave you last time, and he sets out a shot glass in front of Ufo, undoes the flask and pours the shot and lights it on fire. He's like, just the way you like it.
Nice. I
And
slammed
then he
that back.
goes, make a dex check. Novo and Nivara, he goes to you and he goes, what do you guys want to drink? Can I get you anything?
I'll just take one of the house brews.
House brews.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I want to stay sharp and on point for my performance.
All right. So you said you're doing something.
Require wet whistles, and Chris Rivers gulps down some beer. Big gulp.
So you guys said, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're
Bjorn
fine.
walks up to the bartender and just goes, "Can you show me what the largest mug that you have is?"
Oh, for sure. I'll bring it back when I get her beer. So he goes to get the larger beer, larger beer glass to show you, and Nivara's beer, and then Ufo, you wrote in 11. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You once again spill a little bit on you. Are you gonna are you gonna let that burn, or are you gonna put it out?
No, I'm still gonna let that burn. Is it on the other side or is it on the same exact spot?
Oh no, it's on the other side now.
It's on the other side now. Damn.
Yeah.
I have to get
Is
this
it matching at
repaired.
least?
It's this time it's a little bit smaller, but
Damn it.
Tobling comes back and he shows you the biggest Stein glass he has, Bjorn, and it's like this large. He's like, yeah, I usually get this out for the big ones. Have you ever seen a Goliath before? Oh, big guys.
Yeah. I want 2 of these.
Oh, okay. and he gives Nivara her drink, and he goes back, grabs you your beer, Bjorn. He goes, "So, you guys were doing something a little different this time. What? How should I introduce you? People really like the wrestling shtick that you did last time. I mean, I'm open to your performances, but I was just, what are we looking at? What should I say?
Just let them know that Nivara and company are here and ready to give you a musical delight of an evening.
That's not our name. That's
Can we
not
be
our name.
musical cupcake?
That's not our name either.
Aw. Mouse.
There's okay. Tobin looks.
And the musical cupcakes.
Just
we
say
can do
that we've got a group of performers here, and that'll be fine.
A group of group performers. Okay, all right. I'll do that.
Can I?
Oh, what about clown monsters?
No,
No,
that's not our name either.
Totally tubular troop.
Totally.
That might be our name.
Okay. All right. What's up?
Spencer.
Yeah.
Can I slide him a silver piece and say, "It's Nivara and company"?
Okay.
the Rusty Armor Crew.
Oh, I actually like that.
So he goes, okay. You guys got about like 20 minutes, and then I'll announce you. Okay. So whenever you can go and tune up and stuff, and I'll announce you. And he goes back to the bar. Now we don't have to wait the 20 minutes. It sounds like you guys have already discussed everything, so we can just hop straight into the performance if you guys are ready.
Is it reasonable to set up like a slackline type thing, like a mini tightrope?
Yeah. Funny enough. So if you go up to Toblin, he actually he used these barrels as like posts and stuff before. So he helps you he moves these barrels out for you. And do you want kind of like, let's see here, like a tightrope line going from, let me draw this out. Oops, let's do this and this, like from here to here, like a tightrope line like that, going over the stage.
Should
kind of
be good.
All right, cool. So he kind of he sets up the barrels, and you kind of tie your line up and everything, and he's like, all right. So any other prep work that needs to be done?
I am gonna have my collapsible pole on me, but it's gonna be little, and I'm just gonna have it in my hand, and I'm gonna tie a silk to the end of it, so it's like a streamer wand.
Yeah.
I'm of course going to have my magical organ set up and ready to go.
Right, of course.
Floating and on stage.
By the way, for everyone that's watching out of character, not just doing this motion to the air, I am doing this to my cat's head, who is laying on me. For some reason, my camera is
Fantastic.
not picking him up, but he is getting the head scratches of his life.
Is that Ollie?
And that's Ollie boy.
Aw.
Yeah, he's loving it. He's eyes closed, face up in the air, like really. So you can kind of see him now. Yeah,
We're very pet friendly here on the ABCs of RPGs. All right, so let's go ahead and get you guys on stage. Can you guys move yourselves in the kind of like the position that you want to be on stage? I think Navarro wants to be on one of the barrels performing. And let me know if you have any trouble moving your tokens and such. So.
Wait, so can you guys can hear this, right?
No.
No, you need to
A little bit.
on Discord, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
There should be down like by like the video connected, like right above your name at the bottom left. There should be like some. It looks like a waveform, like a
Noise suppression.
You want to turn that off
Okay.
and then try. Now we might be able to hear it.
Hold on one second. Then noise suppression.
Or if you have the threshold or whatever set for automatically picking up voice, that could do it.
Fine, God.
Input sensitivity.
Well, while you're figuring that out, let's go ahead and start the performance. So Toblane kind of like comes out. Ashley, by the way, I put Nivara like on the barrel to the south here. Ready to do her tightrope. That's good. Okay, cool. So Toblane kind of like walks up and like in front of the stage and goes, "Hello, everyone. May I introduce to you your entertainment for the night? We have Nivara in company." Yeah, he's like turning to you, kind of like, should I say it? And you're like nodding. Yeah, Nivara in company. All right. Please give a warm welcome to them. Providing your entertainment. So yeah, well, let them go. And then he kind of stumbles off because he didn't know exactly what to say. He was expecting wrestling, not talking to you guys. Like he's just happy to have you guys there, and everything. As he's announcing, you actually see like Barthen kind of like walk in with Andor and Thistle, and they take some seats. So, along with Linnell and Halia.
How do they do they look excited? How do they look?
Oh, Andor and Thistle, like they got some paint from Barthen's provisions and like took their shirts and wrote like one has Mighty Hammer on it and the other one has Diamond Anvil.
Uh-oh.
They are so excited. So they come over here and like sit in the front row. And Barthen kind of sits on the other side right there and everything. So, yeah.
I'm gonna tumble into the center of the rope, so I'm kind of imagining I do like one of those cartwheel things that you would do on the line.
Yeah.
And I am gonna say, thank you all for coming out tonight. We would like to thank our sponsor, Barthen's Provisions, for putting us up here this evening. Thank you for coming out to the Stone Gate Inn and enjoy the show. And I will tumble over to the other barrel.
You hear applause kind of go out. Go ahead, Christian.
I turn around while she's doing this and just like quietly like talk back to everyone else and say, I'll give you a signal. I'll point to you when I'm ready for the solo in the middle of the song, so you know.
Okay. So we just starting with some bagpiping. How we starting?
Yeah, let's get a little intro, and so we'll intro the song just with a little instrumental, and then I'll get right into it. All right. All right. We ready?
Those pamphlets.
All right, Doc's gonna look around.
I'm just gonna call out 5, 6, 7, 8, and somersault across the trapeze or whatever, the tightrope.
Bjorn, where you at, bro?
Bagpipes. Hold on. Bagpipes. He rolled an action. Oh yeah, nice. That's a 19 right there for performance.
All right.
Let me give
Doc's
you.
just gonna keep doing that chord progression over and over again.
Awesome.
I don't know how well you've heard that.
Ufo wants to use his silent image this time to like little like flowers, like blooming like flowers over top.
Yeah.
That's what his silent image is going to be like right now.
And Novo was gonna was he singing something?
Yeah. So I was gonna start.
Yeah.
Let me give you an introduction, since our name's not decided. Before the brawl that you all saw, we were defeated in Neverwinter. We bound together with pity aplenty and traveled to this grand city. This one here's Nivara, the worst half of me. But be careful and stay away, because she's kind of stinky. And look at this hunk of a fellow who handles birds on the side. And don't let me forget, he's Bjorn Mountainside. Now if you're in a bind and need some godly healing, Doc Rivers may be found doing a suplex from the ceiling. Now I'm sure you all love the fireworks I've stirred in your hearts. But if you want some more, Ufo is a master of the magical arts. To you guys,
Yeah!
Go!
Everybody stands
I need
up.
my solo. Go!
Bagpipe solo.
Solo. But it's like Careless Whispers, but instead of saxophone, it's bagpipes.
Nice, yeah. Everybody's standing up, they're
That's
cheering. Let's get these performance checks out.
That's
So-
not it, though.
Oh,
I think we are done, but then I
Wait.
come back in with a powerful.
Where are the explosions from UFO?
Oh.
Yes, the explosions.
From the bagpipe solo.
Yeah, so yeah, during the bagpipe solo, he shot off like two, just honestly, the rest of the charges in his wand of pyrotechnics, just like up into the air, and they went off like pop, 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 pop during the like as like Bjorn was like rising up, like he's standing up, getting the bagpipes out, like takes a big deep breath in, the fireworks go off, and then the bagpipes come in. And the bagpipes start playing.
Oh, love it.
I
awesome.
want to look up and see if Careless Whispers as bagpipes is actually a thing.
Do you want to do the first
I love.
the first round of performance checks before we do the next bit?
Yes. Now, Dan jumped the gun, but that's okay. We're going to keep that roll. He rolled really good. So, Dan did a excellent performance for his bagpipes. Now, Christian, amazing work. I was not expecting you to sing an entire song, and that was incredible. Go ahead and you get an inspiration point for that. That was fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. And then let's go ahead and have let's do Ashley was the first one tumbling across. So Ashley, can you do your performance check first? Oh,
Oh, I fell down.
yeah. You like maybe you're a little overjoyed from Nivara and company, and then like as soon as like Novo started talking about how like you guys don't have a name yet, you like tripped over. But that's okay. And then Dr. Rivers, you played your piano opening first, or sorry, your flute
It's
opening.
a pan flute.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead and make your roll.
Really?
Okay,
No.
Okay, all right. Well,
I
Christian,
feel like
you
I did better than that in real life. That's
You
not
have-
fair dice.
had an incredible song. So go ahead and make a roll for me. All right, awesome. Bring it back. Dalton, go ahead and make a roll for UFO as well for like your light show with the bagpipe performance and whatnot. I mean, shooting off the
I
wand.
mean, it was great, right?
Okay.
Oh
okay.
yes, it was great.
Okay, taking it
Yeah.
home. Taking it
So
home.
Info has to roll for if his wand's gonna explode.
I
Did
did
you-
use all the charges, so I do need to roll for that.
Let's see what that roll is.
Is it? It's just a straight D20, right?
I believe so.
And what is
Here,
it? on a
let's
crit fail,
bring up
right?
the
Yeah, on a
the-
crit on a crit fail, it erupts
Oh.
into a harmless pyrotechnic display, and it's destroyed.
So it might look great. Oh, okay,
No,
you're
oh,
good.
it's
So-
fine.
So yeah, I like to think like since like Nivara and like Doc didn't roll too well, I like Nivara like absolutely trips. Like she got caught up and fell down with that nat 1. Like she's on the ground right now, still trying to like get up and stuff. Doc, you did a beautiful song. It's just like Andrew and Thistle like were coming here for a wrestling show. So like they
That's
just
fair.
didn't get it. Like you were like really playing it beautifully, and they're just not comprehending it at first. It's not you at all.
It's them.
yeah.
Not you, it's them.
But then
Money.
Novo,
Bitcoin for every time I heard that.
Novo freaking like just like does this amazing introduction song and bellows it out, and then everybody in the bar gets on the same page. Like they instantly know what they're sitting down the show for. It might not have been what they were expecting going into the night, but they're feeling it. They're absolutely feeling it. And then Bjorn starts blowing like his bagpipes, like the Careless Whisper bagpipe song, and then UFO shoots out his wongs, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go!" Like they're ready for the night. So, So how about if you guys want to narrate your next moves and stuff, you definitely can do that, or we can do the performance checks first, and then kind of narrate how like each of the roles affected our performance. What would you guys like to do next?
Let's try rolling and then narrating how it goes.
The latter.
I think that would be fun.
Perfect. Let's do it in reverse order from what we just did. I believe UFO was last time. So UFO, you want to go first now?
Yep. Oh wait, I didn't add my modifier. That should be +3.
Ooh, okay, 5. All right. Well, we'll kind of see what happens when we get through everybody's roles. So next up, let's do Dan next with Bjorn, and have Novo on deck. Nope.
Guys.
It's okay. So roll 20. How we're doing these rolls? That's a good thing to bring up. So that R 1d20 plus 1. So essentially, you put a slash and then R for roll, a roll command, and then Dan says 1d20. Like you can put 1d whatever dice you want, and then you do +1 or so and so for like your modifier. Unfortunately, Dan rolled a 7. But this is a good time. We have 3 rolls left, but this is a good time to note that inspiration can be given to other party members. So that is a good thing to know. But Novo, you are rolling now with Dr. Rivers up on deck.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I can give Bardic Inspiration to somebody for a role like this, or can I not?
Yes. So for Bardic, both regular inspiration can also be given. I know it's a little confusing. We're saying inspiration a lot, but there's Bardic Inspiration that you get as a bard, and then there's inspiration that I get just for being cool. Bardic Inspiration, so you can just inspire others by using a bonus action. And for the next 10 minutes, whenever they roll like an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can add that dice that you have to the roll. So, for example, your Bardic Inspiration is a D6 right now.
D6, yeah. So the D6 is added to the D20.
Yeah, and both you and Nivara have Bardic Inspiration, so you can be giving that out. So if you guys want to give that out at any point in time, you can go ahead and
time to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I feel like with my performance so far, I inspired. Or I say, take this, chap. Your intro to the song was beautiful, and I give this Bardic Inspiration to Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
So what is it? It's plus
A
my
D6.
modifier plus 6, and can I choose when to use that?
Yes, after the roll, but before
Within
my
10
reveal.
minutes.
Yeah.
Alright.
But the performance should be within 10 minutes. Excuse me.
Oh, but I go ham on the next bit.
Oh, yeah.
Go ham on that
Good.
next bit.
All right.
Boom. Nails
Didn't
it.
even need it, but still has it. Just in
Yeah.
case.
Still has it. I'm gonna probably use it later in the song.
Did you use your roll? Did you roll yet, Christian, by the way?
I did not.
Okay. Ashley, you're
My
up on
roll?
deck. Oh, boom!
All right.
Both party members have killed it so far. Nivara, you're on the ground. You rolled a nat 1 last turn. You didn't really pull off your second kind of cross. Are you going to give the Bardic Inspiration to yourself, kind of pump yourself up, or are you just going to do a straight roll? How are you doing? How are you doing this?
I think I'm gonna do a straight roll.
Okay. Do you want to give your Bardic Inspiration to anybody else?
I want to give it to Bjorn.
Boom, Bjorn.
Nice.
You
And
get
we +1, so
yeah.
yes, that's fantastic.
All right, can Navara bring it back? Yeah!
Ooh. So
How's this going down, guys?
Wow.
what I imagine I do is I've got my collapsible pole and I'm like waving around with the silks and I expand it and it like looks like it's gonna come out and hit the nearest audience member in the face, but doesn't. And then I'm going to use it to vault back onto the line.
You hear like Andor and Thistle, they didn't come here for a magic show. They came here to see cool moves, and they saw your cool moves, and they both stand up, like raise their beer glasses and go, yes! They're getting their action of the
We
night.
aim to please everybody.
Okay, so
I
Ufo.
think-
Yeah, go ahead, Bjorn.
Well, so I was gonna say, I think for Ufo, it means that like he ran out of charges, so maybe
Yeah.
there just isn't as much pyrotechnics, you know?
Yeah. So Ufo kind of blew his proverbial load, and he's out.
Jeez.
He's out of wand of pyrotechnics charges, and he's out of spell slots. He used all of them in the earlier encounter with the Manticore and at the beginning of this performance. So all he can really do is like some little like dancing lights, like a few little like dancing lights just like moving around a little bit to like the beat of the music, and it's just not as impactful as any of the earlier stuff.
They were expecting more light show, and they didn't get that. Yeah. What's Bjorn doing then?
I was thinking for Bjorn, you know, the solo was you know, very, very strong. So I'm thinking like 7's not that bad, you know. So I'm thinking like maybe he doesn't like mess up or anything. Maybe he's just, you know, just playing like, you know, a solid bass line, you know, nothing crazy, just some background notes,
Yeah.
you know, that he's like faded into the back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like he's already had his stage, he's had his seconds, and now, you know, he, you know, takes a step back.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Next up, we have Novo and Dr. Rivers. How are you guys kind of like nailing the rest of this performance?
We'll let Doc Rivers go for first. Next. Gosh, I
Next,
can't talk. I'm sorry.
Dr. Rivers.
So as Novo's just kind of wailing away on the organs, Doc's gonna go ahead and help Ufo out, and all the lights start kind of changing colors. All the candles in the joint, all the natural fires start changing colors and stuff like that, flickering different things as the finale's going off. Because I have.
Is it to a beat? Are they flashing to a beat?
He's like controlling it, kind of how it's going. So
People start clapping to the beat.
yeah, they're clapping to the beat. Then the colors are kind of changing along with the beat, and they're kind of doing so in like a alternating. Like it'll be like, I don't know, like red and then blue and then pink.
Yeah.
And blue and pink.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my thought.
The question.
So-
I've got a quick question.
Go ahead.
Doc Rivers, are you wearing like your purple feathers and all that jazz? Like, are you wearing your wrestling costume?
Yeah, why not? We were performing, right? And we had some time to get ready for it. So yeah, he's wearing the big, you know, the big coat with the feathers.
Boom. Yeah, beautiful. All right, Christian. What's Novo doing?
Yeah, so at this point, Novo kind of it sounds like the tempo, the pyrotechnics, things were kind of slowing down.
Yeah.
After the big climax. And then from there I go in to the finishing the song, which everybody thought was already done.
Oh, yeah.
In a slower and deeper tempo. Now come now all and sing with me. This adventure we travel may be met with travesty. It's the morning frost, it's your spine shivering. It's the shrieking in the night, it's cryovein we seek.
Oh.
So lend me your hand, and defiantly we'll stand as we slay the white evil. As we slay the white evil. And
Yeah. People like burst out. They start clapping. A few of the guys, a few of the like more well-worn adventurers, kind of take their swords out and they go, "Ah!" Like call out, "Dislay cryovein!" Ah! huzzah, yeah. Just an eruption of like cheer, like invigorated spirit that just washes out from among the bar. And yeah, you guys pass, like I do these in threes, so you do 3 different group checks, but you pass 2 of the 3. If we want, we can go ahead and see how the third one kind of goes. Or how about, yeah, go ahead, Dan.
What if we did like a quick mini wrestling session, just like a real quick one post performance, so for our wrestling fans.
Yeah, how does the rest of the party feel about that?
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do is as Novo is finishing, I'd like to cast Minor Illusion and have like a little white dragon appear on stage with us.
Ooh,
Nice.
yeah, a nice
You
finishing
can
touch.
take up a 5-foot cube, so it's gonna take up a 5-foot cube.
Hold on. I got something for this actually. Let me see. 10-foot cube. Yeah,
5-foot cube.
5-foot cube.
5-foot cube.
Whoop,
Too
too big.
big.
And so it kind of flies across the stage, and then it disappears like that. Yeah.
I would like to imagine that, like, one of us, it doesn't necessarily have to be Novo, but one of us, as it right before it disappears, like, just cuts it down, like, and it fizzles or like poofs away.
It just kind of turns into dust and poofs in the air. Perfect. Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, we can wrestle.
Perfect. So, what I'll do is essentially you kind of like, maybe you guys take your bow and everybody gives you a roaring ovation. Like they're very good. And like Tobin kind of like comes up to like go like, oh, so you guys are all done? And then you guys tell him that like, oh, we're gonna wrestle. He's like, oh, and he turns around and he goes, encore, you say? Encore? Wow, no, well, the company is not quite done just yet. There's gonna be a little bit of wrestling. I heard that the Diamond Anvil and the Mighty Hammer might be in this very building right now. And then you hear like, you see Ander and Thistle, like they had settled back down in their seats and they go, and they just freak out.
Who knew it was me this whole time?
Then they ripped them off as soon as you said that.
Are you guys gonna go change into your personas?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I walk over to Doc and I'm like, I gotta go change real quick, man. I didn't think about this.
I'll distract them.
And I just like fridge off.
Yeah, brothers.
And I figure I'm short enough that I could probably change behind the bar.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You absolutely can.
So right, sweet. So I changed into my costume.
Yeah.
Put my hammer helmet on.
Toblin quickly gets together, like he gets the barrels out and he ties like a rope and makes a ring real quick from like last week and stuff like that, and he gets it all tied up. He's like, okay, you're good to go.
All right. Are we doing tag team or are we just doing hammer?
Yeah, are we doing tag team or is it just anvil and hammer?
Oh, we could maybe incorporate someone from the crowd somehow and make sure they're definitely not gonna get hurt, right? Like, we're good at this. We can cast illusions and stuff.
What if I throw Nivara out into the crowd? Like over the ropes out into the crowd. And we hit like hammer, Thistle or one of them with it. I figured if they're involved with it, they're gonna really love that.
Maybe like between them, it like breaks their bench and table. Yeah. I'm sure they'll be totally into it, but they'll be totally safe, right?
We probably can't afford to break the furniture here, though.
Yeah.
All right, spinning wheel of death, Nivara.
And this time, Nivara like doesn't even care about her cuticles. She like puts her sleeves up and she's like, "You got it, Doc."
All right. Well, I guess that's so. So you guys start off and tag us in if you need it. If you need us.
what if we just have Andrew this? I mean, they're really into this thing. Like, what if they just kind of like start
gonna
the
try
match
and
off
actually
and
hit
back
us. They're
out?
not
You
gonna
know, just
understand.
incorporate them in a little bit. You know, just you know.
Come
they
on,
can do
Nova,
this-
don't be a sissy. Get in here and back me up.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
well,
You
like
dragged me
feelings
into
around
it
at
last
this point,
time.
Yeah.
Not being a hoser.
Bjorn wants to make like more of like a show of this and like get like more. He wants to bring more of like a story element to the wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, so he goes, "Oh, look at this, everybody! Look at this! One of the Moon Twins is too afraid to fight the Mighty Hammer and the Diamond Anvil."
You hear Andrew and Thistle go, boo!
What? I'm in the ring. What do you want from me?
He's too afraid, everyone.
Don't listen to her.
He's too scared to go against the Diamond Anvil.
You hear a chant, too scared, too scared.
Too scared. Too scared. Do this.
Always you two against us. Why can't it just be us against the world?
Too bad. And he runs back. And then he runs it. Novo. And he gives him one of the cross-arm lariats. He goes, "You ready to duck?" Boom. And he stomps his foot as he as Novo makes contact with the ground, so it sounds louder than it was.
I do not have obviously good reflexes. I just yell out, "I read books for fun." I don't go outside.
I lay the smack down on you.
And as
You
soon
cannot
as
fight the anvil.
As soon as the lariat connects, like, wait, does like Novo like get like hit? Like, does he like not react to it, or does he get hit with the lariat, or?
Oh,
does
if he doesn't like roll with the hit, he's gonna get hit for real with the lariat.
He's gonna catch those hands.
He's gonna look. I told him the hands were coming.
Yeah. In reaction to him saying the thing about books, Bjorn's gonna hop up on the barrel and yell at the crowd, "Ha! Who needs books? What a nerd!"
Is there any books around, like on the table? Is there something anywhere that I
Yeah,
can see?
this woman here is reading a book. She's like got her head down, just trying to like ignore like the wrestling and stuff like that. She enjoyed the musical performance. She's maybe not the biggest fan of wrestling.
So I go over there. I like run over to her and I just
Yeah.
take it out of her hands. Just be borrowing this real quick, thank you. And then just run back in the ring, and then
Yeah.
I go. Or wait, sorry. Where's Bjorn at in here? He's like on the
On the
rope
barrel?
or on the
Yeah,
barrel.
So I've like stepped onto the barrel, like.
Like, so seeing that he's like up top, just like on this pedestal or barrel, so to speak. He's like saying this stuff about me in books, and I run over to him with this book, and I'll show you what a book can do, and I go to slap him across the face.
And I like take it, and I like instead of just like falling back normally, I like kind of like jump backwards, you know, so it's like really, and I kind of like probably like land there. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you know.
So no, like you're already over here.
And then when I hit the ground, I like do like this like dramatic. So like I hit the ground, but like I roll, and I like roll basically over to like Thistle and like Andrew's feet.
Yeah, and they're like, they reach out and they're like, no, hammer, mighty hammer.
Oh, I'm okay, guys. I'm okay. I'm all right.
Oh, those good nasty books.
That's. I know. Who needs reading?
I know.
The natural enemy
Nivara is
of
gonna
Bjorn.
jump in, and she's gonna like stand on top of the barrel, and you know, like in Shrek when he like kind of pulls himself back and then body slams into all of the guards when
You
he's
going
fighting
off the
everybody
top
at the beginning.
buckle?
Yeah.
All right, so Doc sees this and he's like, "Oh no!" I go for the thing, and as you hit him, he's gonna take the cell, and he's gonna like catch you and then like kind of fall on his back.
That's it. That's the one. We land it.
Boom. And then after he lands, he's
Boom.
gonna roll out and then try and get back up over here and look at Novo, look at Nivara, and then what's Bjorn doing?
With like Nivara entering the ring, Bjorn's gonna jump in and be like, "Oh, it's supposed to be a one-on-one, but I guess we can turn it into." He's gonna come from behind with like a double lariat, like from behind, and just be like, "Hey guys, watch out!" But like they can't really duck under him, so he's gonna do the same like stomping thing, and like he's gonna like try to like make it look like he hit harder, like like
Yeah.
But you guys gotta fall. You guys gotta fall now.
After this, I've like I'm feeling pretty hurt, and I'm gonna I don't know. I feel like I don't know why. I'm just gonna come up with an excuse that doesn't seem reasonable in the moment, and I am gonna tap UFO in. I'm gonna be like, "All right, UFO, you got this," and I'd like switch him in for me.
Oh geez.
Doc is shocked.
UFO stumbles
When
in
did
and
this
like
turn into a battle royale?
UFO has no idea what to do.
Is Novo still on the ground?
Yeah, I
I go to pin Novo. I just I'd like put my chest on him. I thought UFO was counting. I thought UFO was the ref.
Oh yeah. Toblin is gonna run in there if UFO doesn't.
Oh well, I mean, Nivara tagged me in.
Oh
Yeah, he tagged in the ref.
Yeah,
so
Where's the
Toblin, yeah.
ref?
I'm in it now.
I've been pinning this guy. Where's the ref?
So
Toblin goes, oh, one.
I jump onto Bjorn's back, and I'm just like trying to grab him from behind. But like it probably doesn't do anything. UFO weighs like 50 pounds.
No, but like as soon as I feel you touching me, I like really just exaggerate. I'm like, crap! I couldn't get that third second off. Ah, dang. It's almost like this was planned.
You're right, and like as Bjorn like overreacts, UFO gets like tossed like across the entire ring.
And I go, quick, Diamond Anvil, you pin him. I'll pin this guy. Well, together, we'll pin both of them.
I thought I was already pinned.
We're putting the hammer in. Are you ready for the hammer meeting the anvil? The finisher hammering the metal. And Doc slaps his shoulder, slaps his other shoulder, and then he grabs Bjorn's arm. He goes, "All right, we do a soft double drop right on him, and then I roll in for the pin."
Nice. And I whispered
then,
down to Novo. I'm like, hey, just keep laying there, all right?
Pretend you're dead.
I'm sorry.
And we're gonna do the. Oh wait, what are you doing?
Oh no, I wasn't sure if you were done explaining what.
Oh yeah, you're about to get double elbow dropped, homie.
All right, so like as you guys come down on us, I cast Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
And I make just like the best sounding anvil clanking that I could.
Love it.
For the crowd.
Love it. Okay,
And
and I
then,
roll in for the pin.
We're pinning.
Yeah. Toblin goes, 1, 2, 3. Oh, the mighty hammer and the diamond anvil wins again.
I am a real Fandel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're
Luckily, my stuff isn't copyrighted because it's public domain.
so your first performance with the main party, there was like not everybody was bought in at the beginning, but like everybody kind of warmed up to it. But the half that wasn't as into it at the beginning are loving this wrestling right now. So like everybody's like standing up, cheering and applauding. Like those who didn't get enough action got their action now. So you have successfully earned your keep for the night. Toblin kind of arranges like some meals for you and everything to be either brought to your rooms or to be set out at a table, whatever you guys like to eat, and you guys are all set for the night. So yeah, what we can do here? How about we can say that you guys kind of like enjoy the rest of your evening. You kind of rest and fill up, and you level up to level 3.
Oh yeah.
Aw, yes.
Yeah. So after an exciting night of wrestling, beautiful musical performances, and helping out ladies accosted by manticores, you guys are leveling up, and let's kind of go over all that stuff. I believe most of us have kind of done their level up from last week to this week, but I kind of want to go over what everybody gets at level 3, because level 3 is usually a very important level for most classes, because unlike wizards or clerics who get their subclasses either at level 1 or level 2, most classes get their subclass at level 3. So I kind of want to go among the line with everybody and just kind of go over kind of like what each of you guys get at level 3. Dalton, if it's possible, are you able to bring up the player's handbook and everything?
I can bring up the essentials kit. Yeah.
Perfect. While you're doing that, was there anything else that you guys wanted to do while you're still in the tavern or anything like that? Was there a specific meal you guys were going to order, or?
Yeah, I wanted to
Tater
go up to...
tots.
Tater tots.
sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
Toblin served tater tots. You guys told him that before.
Yeah. I want to go up to Barthen and just be like, hey, I don't know if you got this in stock, but if you could look for a diamond for me, that'd be sweet. I'd
Oh,
like to buy one
yeah.
eventually.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't think I'll put an order for it. Next time you're back in town, it should be back for you. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'll get this order for you.
All right,
Remember, you get that discount. So
sweet.
Thank you so much for shouting me out. That was an impressive performance. Way better than, well, I thought Andal and Thistle, they're sometimes full of themselves. So that was most impressive.
Well, we're glad you liked the show. How'd you like the tater tots?
Oh, when I was a little one, my dad would bring me not to wrestling like you guys do, but we had a similar form of entertainment where we would just arm wrestle. We'd go back and forth, but we had a drinking game to it. So every time you lost, you drank more. So some guys would lose on purpose to drink, some guys wouldn't. Anyways, they serve tater tots there too. So it's really reminding me of my childhood right now.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
All right, well,
Yeah.
glad you guys enjoyed the show.
Wow.
Thanks for coming out.
yeah. Did anybody else want to do anything?
No, I think we're good.
All right, cool.
That book to that lady.
Yeah. She takes it back. She dusts it off, and she kind of looks at you and goes back to reading.
Thank you so much. By the way.
Its spine is
Eventually,
bent
she
now.
tries to put the charm on her.
You put charm on
point.
her? Yeah.
No, at this point I'm exhausted and I'm like, and she's obviously not interested. And I'm kind of like acting, I'm a little bruised. I'm not seriously injured, but I'm also kind of like putting on a show and ready to pack it in.
Perfect. Then let's go over our level ups. So, UFO. Oh, do we have the level 3 graphic?
Yes, I can turn that on.
Okay. While you're doing that, let's see. Christian, do you want to kind of go over what Novo got at level 3 and go over your new subclass that you have?
Sure can. Yeah, so this is a very exciting level for being a bard here. Let me just pull everything up so I don't miss anything. But so basically, with my level 3, of course, we'll start with the simple things. I was granted my subclass, which is a Bard College, and then the players, or the Essentials kit here. I have two options. That's the College of Lore and the College of Valor. Now, because I am a sage background and very studious bard, I chose the College of Lore, and which allows me for the bonus proficiency that at third level, when I join the College of Lore, I gain proficiency with 3 skills of my choice. So along with being a bard and my race, I now have proficiency in many different skills, which is awesome. And now along with that, College of Lore gives me cutting words. And would you like me to go more in depth in what that does?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. So at third level here, of course, so you learn how to use your wit to distract, confuse, and otherwise sap the confidence and competence of others. Sounds great. So when a creature that you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a damage roll, you can use your reaction to expend one of your uses of Bardic Inspiration. Rolling a Bardic Inspiration die and subtracting the number rolled from the creature's roll. You can choose to use this feature after the creature makes its roll, but before the DM determines whether attack or ability check succeeds or fails, or before the creature deals its damage. If it's immune, or it is immune if it can't hear you, or if it's immune to being charmed. So there are some stipulations there.
Yeah.
Along with that, I also was granted expertise.
Yeah. Just super cool. Super good.
Yes. So that essentially doubled. I believe it was 2. I'm trying to find it again here.
Yeah, so basically your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check, and you get to choose 2 skills to do that. So I believe your proficiency bonus is still +2 right now. So instead of adding +2 to those expertise skills, you add +4, which is great.
So with that, I chose, believe it was Arcana and Persuasion.
Ooh.
Because I felt those were pretty helpful so far. And along with that, I was granted 2 spell slots for a 2nd level spell, and I'm able to know an extra spell. So with that, I guess that comes my biggest question with this change is I can now know 6 spells.
6 spells in total, yes.
In total.
Divided how you choose between first and second.
So I can now with this level up kind of change all of that. Change kind of what spells I know and kind of move some over to, 2nd level spells, or how does that work?
So, Ashley, I think Ashley has an answer for this.
I do. So you are spot on, Christian. You have 6 spells that you know now, and you can divide them up how you choose between your 1st and 2nd level spell slots. And then beyond that, we have a correction from last week. Last week we said that bards cannot do ritual casting. That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Bards can cast any bard spell you know as a ritual if that spell has the ritual tag. So if you want to take a ritual too, you can do that.
Literally under spell casting ability, it has ritual casting listed. And all of us were like, no, bards can't ritual cast.
Yeah, that's
I was so upset. I was like, why would they give me ritual spells on the bard list if I can't ritual cast?
Yeah,
well, I can ritual cast.
That is still a thing, though. Like, there are some classes, and apparently I have to look at which classes do not give you, but there are some classes that do not give you ritual casting, but still allow you to cast spells that can be ritual casted.
And just to be clear, with bards, when you gain a level, you can choose one of your old spells to replace. You can't replace all of them.
Okay. So it's just
Yeah, so when you went from level 2 to 3, you got an additional spell known, so you can pick a new spell of any level that you can cast, and you can change one of your old spells to a new one.
And is it always just 1 and 1, or however many you gain, you can also change?
It should be 1 and 1 because each level you have either your known spells is like 1 higher than, or like you get 1 per level.
Yeah.
So you start off knowing 4 and it goes up each level, and it says you can switch out 1 each level as well. So it should be you can do 2 of your spells you can switch out instead.
Okay. I'll have to change things then because I did too. But all right. Yeah. So I'll have to figure out the 3 that I wanted to. So I switched over 2 from and took away 2 at least from the spell level 1.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess I'm deciding between Shatter and Invisibility and Suggestion.
Oh, both good.
So yeah, they all seem awesome. I kind of wanted Shatter though because I need more. It'd be nice to have another DPS spell because I'm mostly utility based right now. But Invisibility and Suggestion seems sweet, so we'll see.
Cool. On the flip side, before we move on, did you increase your health as well in your hit dice pool?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Perfect. Did you roll or did you take the average?
I rolled and it was not good because I rolled a 2.
Oh.
So, but it's okay because the last roll I did was like a 7. So
Yeah, it balances out.
yeah, it's about average.
Ashley, are you okay with going over your Bard college? Because I think you chose the other Bard college for Nivara.
Ooh.
I did. Just a quick question. For hit points,
Yeah.
do I add my con modifier to that as well?
Yes.
Yes.
So I would use the hit dice, like it's a D8 for bards. And if I take the average, it would be a 5.
Yep.
And then I can add my con modifier.
Yep.
Perfect.
And that's a really cool thing too, because I believe at level 4 you get the ability score improvement, and if you improve your Constitution, that affects every level you have. So like if your Constitution goes from like maybe like a +2 to a +3, you not only get that like 1 extra health point like for your new level, but you get it for every previous level too.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's why con is great for every character.
Novo, did you mention that bards also get expertise at level 3?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool.
He did, yes.
It's pretty huge level there.
What did you take expertise in?
Arcana and Persuasion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ashley, you want to go over your college?
Yeah, so I ended up going with the College of Valor, which is the other option that you can do from the Essentials kit. In College of Valor, the idea behind these types of bards is they are your Yaskir from the Witcher type. They go around following big adventures and writing stories about it and such. But the nice thing about this is I get this feature called Combat Inspiration at level 3, which is really nice.
Yes.
And it lets me use the Bardic Inspiration for damage rolls or to increase AC as well, which is really cool. The rules apply the same. You have to choose to use that Bardic Inspiration die before the DM says, whether it hits or whether that's going to kill the monster or whatever it is. But now, if I give a Bardic Inspiration die to any of my party members, they can also use that to add to the damage roll or to increase their AC.
Yeah, so that's what's really cool about having multiple bards on the same team. I think Justin talked a lot about this at the beginning, but essentially, you guys picking 2 different colleges cover a lot of bases. Because like you already get to improve mostly yourselves from just having Bardic Inspiration, but Christian gets to like subtract like creatures like doing stuff whereas Ashley gets to buff you guys within combat. So like what can literally happen is a creature can attack you. Ashley can, whoever gave a Bardic Inspiration to like one of you guys, can raise your AC against the attack, while Christian can lower their attack roll. So like it works really well with each other to making sure you guys don't get hit or hurt less, or upping your damage. Like if a monster's like this close to dying, just upping that damage real quick to nail in that last blow. So it's really nice.
That's awesome.
And then for my expertise, I went with perception and performance. And I have not picked my spells yet, my second level spells. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a second level spell, and then I'm going to change one of my first level spells to a second level spell.
Sounds good. All right.
That covers me.
Cool. We're hitting our 10 minutes till the end of the stream mark. I know past couple weeks we went over just a little bit. We are ending on time today. So if viewers, if you have a question, drop it in the chat. We'll read it and answer it for you on the stream live. But for the meanwhile, let's go over our other improvements to level 3 while we're waiting for those questions. So would UFO like to talk about his level 3 upgrade?
Sure, I can talk about my level 3 upgrade, which I don't think is... It's a lot and not a lot at the same time for wizards. Wizards, I don't think they get any new features or anything, but they do get some second level spells. And I haven't really quite made up my mind on UFO's 2 second level spells. He's definitely taking Flaming Sphere as one of them. Flaming Sphere is a spell that does kind of what's on the tin. It conjures a big flaming sphere that UFO can move around and burn stuff with, which he would love.
That's a second level spell?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, big 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears, and any creature that ends its turn close to it has to make dex saves to not get burned by it. And it's super nice because I have to concentrate on it, but I can then use my bonus action to like move it around and move it into people. And that gives me something to do with my bonus action. But he's not super sure on what he's going to do with the other one. He might do darkness, or he might do hold person. Or maybe Misty Step. I'm really not sure.
Misty Step would be cool.
It would. The only problem is like none of these are very flashy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want flashy.
I want flashy
UFO
spells.
wants flashy.
UFO wants flashy spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do some thinking over this long rest and come back with an answer for the next session. But
Cool.
that's what wizards get, is they get 2 new second level spells added to their spell book and some spell slots to cast them with.
Yeah, and that's an important thing to note. You got your Arcane Tradition last level, so that
Very
was a
true.
big thing already for you. So that's why a lot of these other classes are getting their subclasses and bigger things. But yeah. So
Yeah, wizards get their subclass at level 2. So I already got some of my cool like class defining features at the last level.
all right, Dan, Justin, which one of you guys want to go first with your level up?
Mine's quick, so I can just go real fast. Clerics do not get a whole bunch of stuff. They get some hit points, and they do get second level magic, so that's pretty big. I bumped up my. So the nice thing is, clerics have expanded spell list, which means as a life cleric, you get lesser restoration and spiritual weapon, which is huge for free.
Yeah.
Because you're a life cleric. Spiritual weapon is basically like an extra attack, and you get it 2 levels before fighters will get it. I picked as my other as my other spells, I also took Aid, which gives you an increase. It gives up to 3 creatures an increase of 5 to their maximum hit point pool. So
It's temporary HP, right?
no,
Yeah, 8 is different.
no, it increases your HP pool max whenever you cast it. So it can be healing and general hit points increase. So
That's
it's
awesome.
like, yeah, it's Aid's a pretty good spell.
What's the duration on that?
8 hours
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
all day.
And one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
nice things that Doc Rivers as a cleric has is like he gets to pick his spells just after a long rest. He gets to just grab whatever he wants from the list. Like you want Aid, but if you don't want it one day, you can just pick something else from the from the list of second level spells that clerics have.
Yep.
Which,
That's
like
super
we were
cool.
saying, very different from parts.
Very different. I also picked Augury, which is a divination spell that's kind of cool, but you know, after a long rest, maybe I won't have it. Maybe next time before we play, I will choose another spell as I summon my spells for that day. But yeah, that's it. That's all clerics get.
Augury is basically he gets to ask me, the DM, as his god, like, hey, like what should we do here? And I get to do wheel or woe type deal. So he's like, should we do this? And I get to say yes or no. So
Yep. And it's a ritual, so it means I don't have to waste spell slots on it to do it if we're not doing it in combat.
But you can't spam it, or I guess you can. It just
No,
increases
you're not.
the failure
you can't
chance. Yeah. So, but yeah, and Bjorn, Dan, what is Bjorn? Yeah,
All right,
at level 3.
Level 3 for fighters is big. I know we don't have the time, so I will try to cover it. In the essentials kit, you get to basically. So when you hit level 3 for fighters, you get to pick what is called a martial archetype. In the essentials kit, there are 2 different martial archetypes to choose from. The first one is champion. And the cool stuff about champion is they are basically your like tried and true, like it's if you really want to play like a true fighter. And the thing that you get is you, instead of just critting on nat 20, you crit on nat 19s and nat 20s. So basically doubling your critical hit percentage from 5 to 10%, which is pretty nice, right? That's if you want to play, just like a straight up tried and true fighter. I have always wanted to play something else, the other choice, which is Eldritch Knight. Eldritch Knight basically is fighter who gets magic. So it is pretty cool. You get a lot of cool things as an Eldritch Knight. And one of the things I was kind of bummed, but it's all good. The Essentials kit didn't have it, and I was looking in the player's handbook did have it. So it's one thing that you do get if you play with the player's handbook. But I won't be using it for this, but I wanted to bring it up. Called Weapon Bond. Basically, like you take a 1 hour ritual with a weapon, and like you can essentially just like summon that weapon like from another material plane, and like you can't like whatever you want. It's actually like really cool. And you can't be disarmed. Like literally to disarm you from the weapon, they have to send it to another plane of existence.
Super cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for spells, just at a high level, with you get a couple cantrips, and at 3rd level you get 3 spells. You get 2 spell slots. You get to know 3 spells in total. One of them has to be one of those 3 has to be an abjuration, and the other one has to be an evocation. And the 3rd one you can just pick from the wizard spell list.
Super cool.
Yeah. So for cantrips, your boy was thinking of picking. I don't know. I was probably gonna go with Mage Hand. That's
a good one.
It's a good one, you know. I really wanted to take Chill Touch. I figured I'd also go with the hand dynamic. I thought it'd be funny if Bjorn was like, "Oh, I'm gonna summon a hand, but this time a bad hand," you know.
Helpful hand and bad hand.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you use to handle the birds, right?
Right.
Is one right and one left?
Yeah, exactly. One's a right hand, one's a left hand. And then True Strike. I think that's you get advantage on first attack, and you get to like learn the defenses of your enemy. So I think that'll be something just as a cantrip. I could be like, hey, you, I'm gonna beat you up. And then for my spells, I think I'm gonna take Shield. That's always nice, giving +5 to AC. Thunder Wave. Look up Thunder Wave. It's a pretty cool one. I'm not going to tell you guys what. Look up Thunder Wave. I think it's a pretty cool one. And here's a second piece of homework. Look up Chromatic Orb.
Yeah.
It's a super cool spell, and also kind
Very
of hints
cool.
why I was telling Barthen I need a diamond. So, but yeah, that's about it for Fighter. If you have any other questions, ping us. But I think that's time, guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bjorn brought up a good point, or sorry, Dan brought up a good point. There are these are just the skimmed down rolls compared to the player's handbook. There's a lot more in that player's handbook. Ashley, could you please read off our attributions and
Yep, I
send us
sure
out of
can.
here?
All right, so today, as we have been using for all of these past few sessions, we are using the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials kit for our adventure and for the rules that we are using. Like Spencer mentioned, you can get the full player's handbook, but we wanted to just start you guys off with this introductory kit. We are using Roll20 as our online platform to play through. That's where we're making our dice rolls, have the maps uploaded to, all of that good stuff. As far as getting our characters for NPCs, which are non-player characters, monsters, things like that, those are coming from colorful characters on Drive-Thru-RPG, token treasury monsters, and the Pathfinder 2nd Edition character art pack, which is free through Roll20. For our player characters, we created those in Hero Forge. It's a really cool program that lets you create all sorts of characters, not even just fantasy characters. You can create cyberpunk characters, or people from the 90s, or whatever you want, and you can create cat people and Ninja Turtles and all sorts of stuff. So there
Really
is
cool.
so much you can do with that. And if you want, you can purchase like a real miniature, like a real miniature, a real miniature. I don't know.
Yeah,
a little statue.
as a note too, if you check out our highlights on YouTube, we do little animations with our Hero Forge PNG characters. So yeah, keep going, Ashley.
We do. So that is all. Those are all of the resources that we use aside from the music, which will be in the descriptions. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, please support your local game stores if you are able to. There are more of them than you think there are. I found 2 new ones this weekend when I went to visit home, and one was on the 2nd floor of an office building. There are more than you think there are. So just do your research. Try to support your local game store if you can. A lot of them have really cool meetups too, so if you are wanting to play a role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game like Dungeons & Dragons, or any of the other ones that are out there, a lot of them have groups that you can join so you can get to play if you don't have a group yourself.
Yeah, like a cork board
one-
where they'll post like, "Hey, looking for a group."
And some of the game stores will actually host you there. They have tables and stuff too. So just depends on your game store. But if you can support them, thank you for tuning in. That was really long-winded, but we are happy to have you. We will see you next Sunday here at 7 p.m. Eastern live on Twitch. Spencer will tell you when our highlights and stream will post.
Yeah. Before that, Justin, did you have something to say?
Oh no, I was just waving goodbye to the fans.
Oh, okay, okay.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we post
Goodbye.
we post our full session on Tuesdays, and our highlights go up on Thursdays. Check it up on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you for
Bye,
joining us here at
everyone.
ABC's
Keep learning.
RPGs.